Hello and welcome to the final IFSC Bouldering World Cup of 2013, and what a year it has been for bouldering. We have held competitions on 3 different continents, starting off in Chongqing before moving over into Europe for Millau, Kitzbühel and Innsbruck, and then across the waters again into the Americas for Toronto and for Vail. We are now back in Europe, here in Munich, yet again at the Olympic Stadium, built in 1972 for the Olympic Games. It was opened on the 26th of May with an original seating capacity of 80,000 people. Now, 41 years later, it still has an overall capacity of 69,250. It has held the World Cup in football in 1974 and also played host to a multitude of different music concerts, including Madonna, Nickelback and Michael Jackson. Last year, we saw 6,000 people crammed into the space in front of the wall, desperate for a glimpse of our finalists. And it was a close one as well, with the final podium in the men's being divided by attempts on a bonus. Now, at this stage of the year, it is all about the overall World Cup rankings. And whilst the gold medals in both the men's and the women's have already gone to 2 of our athletes, that is Dmitry Sharafutinov of Russia in the men's and Anna Stor of Austria in the women's, the silver and the bronze medals are still all to play for, with a wide open field still in the men's and still quite a few opportunities in the women's. It's going to be exciting. Welcome to Munich, welcome to the Olympic Stadium, and welcome to the final IFSC Bouldering World Cup of 2013. Well, good morning to you. Welcome back to Munich. We're about to get things started with our semi-finals here. I hope you're all well and rested. You've all got whatever you need to see yourself through the day. We're here at the venue. It's a little bit rainy, a little bit wet here at the moment. Not too hot, so hopefully not too humid for the athletes on the wall, and we're not going to get too much of a short build-up. It's quite cold. And here we are with the men's start list for the men's semi-finals. This is page 1, so interestingly enough, Sachi Ama, the lowest athlete to qualify through the men's, with only 2 tops in 3 attempts and 3 bonuses in 4. He is predominantly a lead climber, of course, but we've seen him at the Bouldering World Cups beforehand. Onto the second page here, then Dave Barron's qualifying quite high, through 6th in his group, 10th overall. Jonas Baumann there as well. Rustam Gelmanov in the mix-up with Jakob Schubert, Dmitry Sharafutinov here as well. Thomas Tauporn, Jan Hoyer. Jan was looking particularly strong yesterday. And Kilian Fischuber, Sean McCall. Kilian, the only male athlete yesterday to have topped all 5 of the qualification problems. Getting 4 was Sean McCall, Thomas Tauporn and Jan Hoyer. Also Dmitry Sharafutinov, Philippe Rataziak, Jonas Baumann, Chris Webb-Parsons and Cedric Lechat. Those are the athletes that managed to get 4. Then over onto the women's now, then the women's semi-final, starting off with Yevgenia Kazbekova, who knocked out Leah Crane at the very last stage of the qualifications yesterday. If you missed our qualifications, and as you can see, Anna Stor, Anna was actually the lowest to qualify. Yesterday, she had only 2 tops in 5 attempts. Out of all of these athletes, Anna was the lowest to qualify through, and there was a very, very close point towards the end of yesterday's day where we thought actually Anna wasn't going to make it through at all. It was a very intense women's qualifications. If you missed it, you can catch up on it on our YouTube channel, the IFSC's YouTube channel. You can get yourself onto there and watch replays of all of the action you might have missed. If you were with us, you'll know how exciting that was. And look at this, very interesting. Shauna Coxey and Alex Puccio, the 2 highest to qualify from yesterday, and those 2 are really what Munich is all about at the moment, because those 2 are the ones that are fighting it out for the bronze medal position in the overall here. So between the 2 of them, whoever comes highest in this competition takes the overall bronze medal for the year. It's very, very close. This here at the moment is the world rankings. Actually, no, I believe this is the World Cup rankings. These are the World Cup rankings. Anna Stor, as you can see, they're 200 whole points ahead of Akio Noguchi in first place, which means that she's extremely safe. There is no way that she can lose out on the gold medal overall here, Anna Stor, after that phenomenal run of gold medals. Akio Noguchi is pretty safe in silver as well, as long as she makes finals. So today, it's all about Akio. In the men's then, this is how it's looking at the moment. Dmitry Sharafutinov there has already secured his overall World Cup victory. And Guillaume and Jakob have shifted around a little bit here, dropping down a little bit, looking like Sean McCord and Rustam Galmanov are lined up for the silver and bronze medal at the moment, which is a big change from yesterday. Obviously, as we know, we lost Guillaume yesterday. We also lost Jorg, and Jorg and Guillaume were the two that were big contenders for the silver and bronze medals. They will now most likely not be receiving those medals. It changes things up for those other athletes I mentioned yesterday, i.e. Sean McCall, Jakob Schubert, who was in second, who should still have a pretty high chance of taking the silver actually on the overall. And also for the bronze medal, we have Rustam Galmanov there and Kilian Fischuber that could very easily be going home with a silver or a bronze medal in the men's. So still all to play for in the men's on the overall World Cup rankings. As you can see, a blanket grey sky and lots of rain. Great though that we're under this beautiful glass roof, and hopefully that won't be affecting us too much. Now that I've had my morning spiel and you're all warmed up a little bit, it's time to introduce my co-commentator for today, and that is Mr. Jonathan Partridge. Jonathan Partridge, how are you doing?
Not too bad, thank you, Dan. Yeah, good to see you.
How was it yesterday? How were the blocks on the wall? They looked really funky.
Funky's one word for them. Yeah, it was a completely different day to today. Obviously, you talked about the weather that's going on now. It's about 10 degrees cooler under here, so it's going to be almost a completely different comp for the guys. Yesterday was very hot, very sweaty. It paid to be out early, getting the clean holds. It was a very difficult set, particularly on the first group on the left-hand side. Very sort of one move wonder problems, like if you unlock the key element, you tended to complete the boulder, and then on the right-hand side, slightly different version. You've got to, obviously, to get into the final 3 boulders, so a lot of tops going on that side.
So for you then, particularly anything that you enjoyed about yesterday's blocks, or were they just pretty tough all the way through for you? I mean, you're talking about this unlocking a particular key on the blocks there for you. Anything that you liked or you didn't like about yesterday's problems?
Yeah, well, for me personally, it was quite a rough day at the office. Didn't enjoy the blocks myself. But, you know, I think it's always difficult in the competition with the split group format. You always wish you were on the other side because, you know, the grass is always greener. But for me, afterwards, looking at the other competitors, I definitely think I would have suited the other blocks a bit better. I've been nursing a couple of finger injuries, and the left-hand side were particularly fingery for me, or pinch related, which aggravates it a bit more. But you know, that's what it's about. You know, you've got to manage the conditions and manage what you're dealt, the cards that you're dealt, and the guys who've made it into the semi-final have done that.
I was going to ask you about that actually. You've got a bit of an injury on the side of your hand there. Were you finding hand jams that weren't there yesterday or something? What was going on there?
No, I was just going up very aggressively, so kept on smashing the wall. I got a few people asking me whether I was punching the wall, and maybe I should have been.
So that was an injury that well, it's not really an injury, it's a scuff, but you've had those scuffs from yesterday, is it?
Yeah, so on the final boulder on the left-hand side, we had a big jump move. There was 2 different ways of doing it. Right hand and then left hand palming, or I was choosing to go left hand straight up. I think if you're one of the taller guys like Tom Newman from the British team was able to latch that hold, but not for me.
Well, I'm very pleased in a way, although I'm very sorry for you for not being in it. I'm very pleased that you're with me today. I've heard wonders about you over in the Americas just recently. We worked together then. It's like the dream team we now get to put together.
You're very kind, but yeah, I feel like football's coming home. You know, climbing's coming home now.
Okay, well here we are with 2 very interesting athletes to kickstart the day with us then. It's Evgenia Kazmakova, who's both of her parents are very, very well-known athletes. So she comes from a climbing lineage, as Graham said yesterday, good genetics, and that we shouldn't rule her out too soon. And she definitely proved that yesterday with that flash on the final problem, which saw her through into the semi-finals ahead of Leah Crane. On the other side of the wall, Sachi Ama, traditional lead climber, was world ranked #1 at the start of this lead season that we're starting on with the IFSC at the moment, has now dropped down into 2nd place behind Ramonet, who has just been steamboating his way through the lead season at the moment, which we would expect. He's won the World Championships twice and the Euro Championships twice as well, Ramonet, but Sachi's loving the competition at the moment. That is a quote by him. I spoke to him recently at IMSHT, and he was saying that at the moment he's just loving competing against Ramonet, and it's all friendly of course, but it's nice to have a bit of competition. So John, how was Leah yesterday after the big hullabaloo at the end?
Yeah, Leah and Jill were very close to making it into this semi-final. Obviously, they were sitting in 9th and 10th place respectively, and got pipped at the last post. But I think Leah's had a fantastic season. I know she's been thrilled. She's obviously disappointed not to make the final semi, but and Jill was just thrilled to get a good result. It was her first comp of the year and our first top today.
Very nice, very quick from Yevgenia Kazbekova. She still has 3 minutes left on the clock. So the way this is going to work then, guys, we have 20 athletes in the women's, 20 athletes in the men, and we are looking for just 6 in each today. They have a total of 4, I believe, blocks each. We're going to be talking through with John, who is my technical specialist here for today. So the women's will leave for a moment. We'll go back over to that in a moment. This is Sachi on this one. Pretty much a vertical wall to start off with this really stretched start positions to kick-start things, and then moving across with some fancy footwork around these volumes here, trying to keep yourself as close to the wall as possible before pushing up to that bonus hold there. For you, John, what's this looking like?
Yeah, similar theme to yesterday on some of our boulders, the crux move being effectively the first couple of moves, and Sachi here now getting on board with the foothold and managed to stem across. As you can see on the right-hand side of your screen, you've got those tiny blue footholds, which is going to be the key to this second part. So very slopey volumes. I think getting out early onto these obviously is going to be better conditions, and it's actually just fumbling the bonus hold there. I've been up to have a look at the holds, particularly small. The volumes are very, they're not very good today. There's not many places you can guppy onto them that we normally find on volumes, so they're going to be relying a lot on footwork and getting the right body position.
John, you've already taught me a new term that I haven't heard before. Explain guppy for us. You mean just suck on?
Okay. Yeah, kind of. It's basically where you grab a corner of a hold or a volume with the palm of your hand, and then you sort of pull your fingers and palm closer together, sort of creating like almost a fist-like shape. But it's very hard to explain without through words. Yeah.
Well, tell you what,
maybe we can post a picture of a guppy later on.
You're on Guppy Watch, okay? So as soon as he starts to do a guppy, you're going to have to tell me what he's doing there. The other question I have for you here is the arete edge here. Is there another? Is he guppying now?
No, I was just pointing. Some of the people watching might be wondering why Sachi's using the bolt holes on the volume there. Just to fill you in, the grey sections of wall you are not allowed to use the bolt holes on, but on a volume it's classed as a hold, and any part of the hold you can use. So Sachi making good work of those bolt holes, and again just struggling with that move. Looks like it's the crux, that little pop off there. The green volume which he's holding there, the key obviously is the thumb catches underneath, which are very poor, but got a few seconds left now. I think he's unmatched the sequence. He just needs to obviously secure the bonus hold, and then I'm sure he'll be taking it to the top.
Now, what I was going to ask you is about this arete edge on the far side. Is there another edge of wall on the other side of that one? Is that a possible arete for them? There's no black tape.
There's no black tape, but I'm pretty sure I wasn't on the right-hand side yesterday. But if it's anything like the left, then there was a little bit of an arete to use. But reading the sequence, I don't know whether they will get out to that far side. But to be honest, I haven't seen.
So only 10 seconds left of this one. It's 5 minutes like it was yesterday in the qualification round, and after that they are called off, so Sachi's not going to be getting back on the wall. A different time allowance in the final, obviously, as a lot of you probably already know. We go to 4 minute plus basis then. And what's this? Anna Storr, second out. Opinions, John?
Yeah, Anna obviously had a rough ride yesterday. I was watching the girls. She's really struggled on the first 2 boulders. The second one in particular was normally the kind of problem you'd see Anna walk up, but she was just missing out on the body position there, getting stemmed out into the groove. In retrospect, now she's qualified, I think she'll actually be really happy with where, provided obviously it doesn't go to countback, she'll be happy coming out early, getting the fresh holds, getting more rest time, and yeah, you can never write Anna off. If anything, this is a benefit for her, I would think.
Well, I don't think we can actually go to countback due to it was 2 groups yesterday, and so that rules out countback. So actually for her, although having a rough day yesterday, this is pretty much the perfect setup for her to now begin to try and have a comeback on the comp.
Quite, yeah. Sorry, I forgot about the two groups thing. But yeah, also worth mentioning the Russian competitor here, Yuri. He's obviously not done a full season this year, so attending this event, I think this might be his first or second comp of the year. Getting straight up and established, taking a different route to Sachi with the high left foot on the start. Looks like it's pretty good knowledge if he can hold the swing now. And Anastur flashing straight to the top. So I think we've got a bit of a gimme problem for the girls. I think we've had the first two competitors pretty much straight to the top. So for the men, as with yesterday, I think that it's going to be a hard comp, and if they can get a quick top at the start, they're going to put themselves in a great shape for the final.
Some really tiny crimps up ahead of the bonus here on the men's wall there. Method after you've taken the bonus on this one, John?
Yeah, so I think, as you can see there, you've got those two little blue buttons at the top of the wall. I think once he's secured the bonus, Key's going to be getting the next one with the left hand, moving the feet up onto the slopey volumes and then left, and I think come in with the right hand to the right hand blue button and then jump for the top. That's my interpretation, but we'll wait to see how these first competitors get on.
Well, this is pretty interesting. It's looking like he's considering bypassing that entirely and just jumping for the top. Do you reckon he can secure this?
It'd be a great effort if he did. I think he's certainly lining it up. It looks like a pretty good finish hold, so if he can press this out, he could be in with a real chance. Oh, I mean, with 2:30 on the clock, I'm going to put it there. He's probably going to get a top that way. Let's just sack off all the bonus holds and go direct.
Well, that's the thing, though, isn't it? I mean, you get a top, you automatically receive the bonus anyway. So if it is an easier way to do, just straight from the start and jumping up, we saw a couple of female athletes yesterday trying a similar method and ignoring some of the holds that were on the wall, just trying to just dyno straight up to the top there. And I think that method could work there by the look of things.
Yeah, absolutely. If I was him and I did the block in a minute, the thing I'd do before I left would be to brush all that boot rubber off the left-hand hold so nobody else knows the way he's been going up it. Yeah, that was a fantastic effort. I think the left-hand finish hold is a big sort of rounded blob, and the right-hand part is probably going to be the key thing for him. So he's unlocked a good sequence here. He obviously knows Sachi hasn't got to the top, so probably going the right-hand way is going to be harder. So this looks like a fantastic method. Here we go. Job done. Sneaky.
Very nice. So talk about just ignoring everything the route setters have intended, then just going straight up for it. Very interesting. Is that something that you find yourself, John, when you're on the wall? I mean, do you often go back into ISO and end up discussing afterwards or during the comp with other people, just saying, oh, I found a really bizarre way of doing that one. Have you spotted that?
Well, we're not allowed to talk to each other behind in isolation, so there's no conferring between athletes there. Particularly, you don't want to give away any secrets if you have found something like that, something really sneaky to bypass a whole boulder. But no, I think something like that, he's going to put himself in a really good position, because Sachi, obviously one of the world's strongest climbers, couldn't get out to the bonus hold, so that's obviously the way the route setters want you to go. Very sneaky and fantastic effort.
Well, as you can see here, the crowd already starting to gather. This is roughly half of the crowd as well. We have these two huge stands towards the back, which are now pretty much full as well. So you can't quite see the stands. We'll try and give you a glimpse of them a little bit later, perhaps. But just in front of the wall here, you can already see a huge crowd starting to gather. We had around 6,000 last year for the finals. Really great atmosphere. The DJs here are fantastic, and we're hoping for even more people this year and an even better atmosphere. And based on yesterday, the qualification round, it's looking like we're going to have that as well. So hopes from you, from looking at the start list that we have in front of us here, then John, I mean, obviously you're going to be pointing at Dave Barron's first, yeah, but I mean, people that you think we're going to be seeing in that top six?
Really strong field. We've got the world's best here again, Sean, Killian, Thomas Tauporn, the German, and Jan Hoyer. Obviously, home country, you've got to put them, they've been in great form this season. Dimitri, of course, Rustem Gelmanov. It's a really, really strong semi-final field. My good friend Chris Webb-Parsons obviously qualified. He had a fantastic round yesterday. Been training really hard the last couple of months since he's been back from the oil rig. So yeah, great to see him in the final, so semi-final. So I'll be rooting for him as well. In the women's field, usual suspects again. Obviously, Anna Stur qualified in 19th place, so I'd obviously be putting her in the top 6. Puccio, Coxey, Julianne, home country. Melanie Sando climbed fantastically well yesterday. I caught a bit of her around. Melissa Lenev. You know, the names just go on. It's going to be really hard to find a winner today, I think.
There is a very, very wide field of competitors in both of these here. I mean, just looking at some of the women's, I mean, the top 6, the last 6, in fact, no, more than that. Pretty much the top 10 could all easily make finals. Aya Noe as well, we were talking about her yesterday, she made finals. Evgenia Kasparkova here with another top on problem too. I mean, do you think this is the route setter starting to worry, or is Evgenia just looking in really good form today? What do you think?
I did think the first 2 boulders looked very basic. Pretty positive holds, not that far apart, and I think the girls, the standard we've got here, they're going to pull straight through. So hopefully the route setters have got something lined up for 3 and 4. Otherwise we're going to be in for a flash comp, and I know the girls don't like flash comps because sometimes they feel it's not representative of the strongest climbers or the best climbers, winning just the people who execute. But that's competition climbing, and Sachi here straight up onto the slab and topping out. Fantastic.
So in terms of what you can see at the wall on the moment, which one's looking like the most interesting of all of these blocks here?
Well, I thought men's 2, the one Sachi just did, was a really nice looking boulder. The big balls are very, very poor. They're not that positive, and Sachi, zero gravity Sachi, maybe we should call him, just floating through the volumes. I think men's 4, as we get further down, men's 3 and 4, there'll be a bit more spice. I think men's 3 was the one with a jump from memory or a little flick out, so that's always interesting to see. But the other Russian here, Armen, not finding that same method that Yuri had and struggling like Sachi to get out onto the volume. So Yuri putting himself in a fantastic position. We're going to presume that all the other guys are going to read it a similar sort of way, heading out for this bonus. Just crimping on the bolt hole there, Russian style.
You see some of the Russians doing relatively well here. I mean, even the bonus has very little on it. You have to really, really catch it and rely on finger strength for that, for moving up on that one. Obviously, being able to keep the hold below that he's now matching on as well as you're going up for it. So we've got Dimitri still to come and Rustam, and I think this is kind of Rustam's style, really, of climbing. It should be quite nice and relaxed for him. And then there's the slab as well, but the interesting thing is that the Russians hate slabs. So they're going to have probably a good time on M1 and a bit of a rough ride of it on M2. And then we move on to, did you say you'd seen a dyno a little bit later on as well?
Yeah, I think men's 3, from memory, there was a bit of a flip sideways dyno during the middle section, the lower section. So obviously we haven't seen the climbers climb them yet. That's just my interpretation. But early on, looks like, as you say, the people confident on the crimps here are going to have a better ride through this first boulder.
Well, very good morning to you. If you are just joining us, we're here at the commentating booth. I'm joined by Jonathan Partridge throughout today and into the finals, which is going to be exciting. He's my technical delegate, if you will, here in the box. If you want to get in touch with either of us, if you have any questions for either myself or more likely Johnny P, you can do so by getting in touch on Twitter using the hashtag IFSCWC. And again, here we're seeing a nice little different beta. Do you think the route setters had spotted this at all?
I don't think they would have spotted it. Otherwise, they would have closed this gap off, maybe starting with the left hand hold further down so that you can't get stemmed as easily. Because that final hold is very, very positive on the right hand side. So the guys know that if they can get bridged and stood up, it's just a pop to the top. And yeah, Armen there trying the right method a few times, sacking it off and going direct.
So let us know where you're joining us from. You can do so by getting onto Twitter using the hashtag IFSCWC. We'll say hello to you as we start to move through this competition here. So Michaela Shalazin out now, Anna Stor back out on the wall, also Katarina Sauerwein, you can see there, and we're back out with Yuri Novitsky as well. So John, let's just have a look at the women for a moment now. Female 1, you're saying it looks like pretty much like a pretty straightforward route, and you're saying the same for F2. Any surprises on either of these walls that you think might be in store for the women?
I hope there's some more interesting boulders on blocks 3 and 4, because as I said before, these look very basic for the quality of the field that we've got out today. You know, if you put a line of crimps up the wall, they're going to top it. So I hope there's something a bit more funky for later on. I'm sure there will be. It looks like female 3 in the bottom left-hand side of your screen there. You can see the orange volumes. Provide a bit more funk, but at the moment, the girls are just going to crimp their way through these holds, and I expect to see a lot of tops. Mikhailo Shaligin, bottom right-hand corner of your screen, obviously made several finals before in the past. A Patrick Swayze lookalike from Point Break. Very strong competitor.
When he falls off, sometimes just like lies on his back and just shoots and screams up into the sky. Yeah, that's
exactly the rage. And Yuri getting up on the slab here, just slipping off. You can see what I was saying about the holds being very slopey and poor. Yuri just popping off the footholds, which are particularly bad on this climb. Sachi just floated his way through there, which was a very good effort.
It's interesting because from here, those 2 volumes, when you're on top of them, in terms of a foothold, they don't actually look too bad. If you think about the angle that the wall is back at, they are flat. They're a lot flatter than we've seen on a lot of other volumes that are these ball sort of shapes, but they don't actually look too bad. They're nothing compared to what I remember seeing in Kitzbühel with Percy's setting. Percy's just put in these pathetic little, I mean, they weren't even the size of a penny piece that you were supposed to be using for your feet, having to really rely on it. But as you saw there, Yuri coming down off that point there. So what is it when you're on something like this, a larger volume, that is it grip, is it the angle?
Yeah, I mean, with all these volumes, it's about surface area. You can see him there with his hands just pouring the holds as opposed to crimping. He's really trying to get as much surface area of the hand and foot onto the hold so that he can apply as much pressure as possible. It's really difficult with the technical nature of the shoes we've got now. Some of the competitors use very down-toe aggressive shoes, which are fantastic for the steep climbs and small edges. Some of the other competitors choose with a more rounded smearing shoe. So, you know, it's very difficult if you've come out with the wrong shoes for the wrong job. But, you know, the guys are very experienced here, so I think when they get stood up, it's about confidence and just trusting your feet.
I have holes in my shoes. How do you think about sticking a big toe through, and do you reckon that'd help?
I don't know. I mean, maybe the barefoot approach, Chris Sharma method might be the way forward.
I'll talk to the athletes. I can lend them the later. So Mikhailo going for the intended beater on this one then.
Yeah, he's really squeezing that green volume, struggling to release though. The holds are just really poor, but the first competitor today to make the original sequence, which is great knowledge. He's going to get stuck up onto those little blue buttons now, and they are really small, and obviously the slopey volumes which he started on, it's going to be interesting to see. I think he's going to go left again and then pop to the top. Oh no, come on Mikhailo, figure it out. Yeah. Been on that bonus hold for a good 30 seconds, crimping down, so he's bound to be feeling a bit tired. You can see him there just shaking his fingers out.
It looked like he was trying to sit into the volume a little bit more there, shifting his feet over so that he could take a little bit of pressure off the hands there. So you think that's the intention here is to go up again with the left as opposed to reaching around?
Yeah, I think if you go left hand again to the second blue button, then right hand come into the right hand one, it'll make the last pop a little bit easier. We may see some other competitors just grabbing the first left button, getting the good foot on the green and jumping for the final yellow hold, which is very positive, as we've seen the other competitors, the Russians who are going direct.
So 40 seconds left on the clock here for Yuri Nowitzki and Mikhailo Shaligin, who is trying the traditional method on the right-hand side. Yuri about to have another attempt here on the left.
So Mikhailo here, standing up on those really bad blue footholds. Got to get established now. Can see him sorting his feet out. I think he needs to get his left hand again and then pop, but as we said, yeah, securing the top. Fantastic effort from him. Yuri just running out of time on the slab there. Great effort from him. Securing the bonus on, I believe, his first or second try, and just falling short of the finish hold. But strong start from him. He's still got the top in a few amount of attempts, unlocking that unusual sequence. And we welcome some new competitors, Mina Markovic.
Just having a look at this morning's tweets that are coming in. We've got some nice responses to you being back in the commentary booth here, John. He can pounce like a jaguar but has the voice of an angel. It's good to hear John Partridge on the IFSC commentary. Come on, I never get stuff like that. Like I can leap like a newt but have the voice of a 70-year-old NPC McLambert.
Well, you see, I have to pay a lot of people before I come out of these to these events now. Robin's actually a good friend of mine back from Reading Wall, so big shout out to him. I'm sure we've got a lot of people in the live stream watching today, so thanks for watching and enjoy the competition.
Let us know where you are joining us from as well as we move through today. Like to know where the audience is coming in from, and here we have Mina Markovic starting off with female problem 1, and we get our first glimpse at M3. What about this one then?
Yeah, this was the one I thought might be a bit of a jump sideways, but Sachi managing to just lock it down and do it statically. I think he's going to have a really aggressive leg swing to hold. Looks pretty basic now, big pinch. Interesting sequence from Sachi. Fantastic.
It's more lead style, isn't it? He's keeping static and he's playing safe. He used a heel there and kind of almost went for a rock over there.
Absolutely, yeah. It's almost the route climbers are more percentage climbers, so they want to hold on, they want to hang in there because they know they've got the endurance to do it. But great start from Sachi. He'll be annoyed about the first boulder, having seen it go an easier way. Well, he'll see it later on in the replay, obviously, but topping out on the second and third, so he's in with a fighting chance. So we've seen a top on all the men's boulders so far, and I believe all the women's... Oh no, we've got the first female on the women's 3 now. Slightly overhung slab.
But again, this looks relatively straightforward once you've got the bonus there. You're just swinging your feet up on top of the starting holds and then up to it. Is that an undercling finish there on that one, John?
Yep, so I think they're probably going to be pinching it with thumbs underneath, standing on the big orange volume. The crux obviously being dead pointing to that slot, which is not that great, but obviously once you secure it and get your fingers in, you'll be taking it to the top. But we've got Mina Markovic here, just pulling up onto the top of her first boulder, just slipping off on her first go. Taking her time, again, another really strong route climber, so not stressing out here, confident she can figure it out. Just taking the right time to get the right position and securing the top. Fantastic.
So we're seeing quite a few flashes in the women's then. As we have already spoke through how wide open the field is here for both the men's and the women's. We've got some extremely strong athletes in both different categories. I'd like to know your opinions, you guys watching back at home. Send them in to us. Let us know who you think are going to be the top 6, or at least who you think your podium positions might end up going to. Send them in to us. Looking at what we were looking at and talking about earlier, I'm thinking for the men's, obviously Dimitri I think will go through. Killian at the moment looking very strong, although he's been a bit bizarre this year. Sean McCall will go through. I believe, I've got fingers crossed with this one, but I think Jan Hoye might be able to push through on this one as well. And John here is just pointing at Cedric Lechat, who he thinks might be making it through. Having a little look at some of the other ones, Rustam and Jakob as well. It's a really tough. I'm down to about 7 or 8 to then whittle down.
Another top from Armen there up on the slab, so he's topped the first 2 boulders, topped them relatively quickly, so again, good position. It looks like with all the guys, the first 3 boulders have gone now, so you're going to need to be topping to stand a chance in the final. But obviously we're coming out in reverse order, so 20th position today, statistically from yesterday, is the weakest climber. Coming out to number 1, Sean McCall will be the last athlete to come out on here, so you would expect the guys, if the early guys are topping, you're going to be expecting the latter guys to be flashing.
But yeah, as we're saying, it's pretty wide open field. I mean, we've got Jone Kruder in there as well, and he had a particularly good day yesterday. We've seen him at finals again this year. Struggles sometimes when he gets through to the finals, but there's always an open chance of getting there. John, I'm going to let you do the women's now for this one. Your prediction on whittling it down to around 6 to 8 athletes that you think are going to be at the top of the pile here.
It's almost quite cliche, but I think Anna Storr, Puccio, Coxey, Noguchi. I think Julianne Verme, obviously home ground, I'm going to put her in, so that's 5. And then for position 6, I'm going to put it between the 2 French girls, yeah, Melissa Leneve and Melanie Sando. I did watch Melanie and she was looking great. Obviously, she's having a really hard season coming back from injury. She won the World Championships last September and has really struggled since then, but she looked in great form yesterday. So, yeah, let's hope for a French finalist. It would be unusual for us not to have a French finalist in either the men's or the women's at the World Cup. They've been really strong this season, so yeah, we'll see how it goes, but that's my prediction for top 6.
What about losing Guillaume yesterday? I mean, he was one of the ones that I said at the very beginning, he's been quite consistent this season compared to some of the other male athletes that have been very up and down, and here at the last comp, just losing him in the qualies.
Yeah, really surprising. Guillaume having I obviously didn't get to see him climb yesterday, but obviously having a shocker on what was potentially the easier side of the competition. He needed 3 boulders to get in, and he only did 2. My good friend Anton Johansson from Finland here, making his second semi-final of the year. Fantastic. He's obviously been on the circuit for a couple of years now, but starting to break through. He was absolutely thrilled to qualify again. Qualified in Toronto, and looked really strong yesterday. He topped 3 boulders, getting ahead of Guillaume, and just popping off on the volumes there. Be interesting to see which of the guys unlocks that direct sequence, because it's unusual for the Russians to think outside of the box like that. You'd expect them to be on the crimps, but Anna Stur topping, enjoying being out early. She's going to get to watch the whole competition, which is unusual.
Now she pinched that. She went up and used this. So we're not going. You think we are, or we're not going to see any other cleans now? You think it's going to be more of a pinch?
I think it'll be as Anna's done there, using the thumbs, the massive orange volume to stand on. So I think it's just going to be getting the weight onto the thumbs and trusting the feet.
It looked very, very temperamental there at the last. It looked like she was just about to slip off it. It looked like it could be quite a difficult finish.
Yeah, you got to put something interesting with the slabs to finish. I think sometimes it's quite easy to just put a crimp or a jug on. So it's good to see them thinking quite creatively about challenging them all the way to the last hold. Obviously, sometimes you want to see competitors falling at the last hurdle. We've got Yuri back on now on men's 3, stemming out, holding the swing. And of course Sachi throwing the heel very high right from the start, but Yuri going for the dead point method. Anton back on men's 1 and Mikhailo on men's 2. Women here getting through these boulders very quickly. Looks like it is going to be a flash comp for them, which obviously is not favourable for many of the girls, because they don't like it, because they feel that it's not a fair representation of the quality and the strength that the field possesses. But that is competition climbing, and the guys here, we're getting some tops, but obviously not very quickly. As we get through the field, we're probably going to see some more. Anton getting stuck into this volume, crimping the bolt holes again. I said it earlier on, obviously the grey wall is the main structure, and for those of you that don't know, you're not allowed to use the bolt holes to hold on, so you can't crimp those, but on a volume, that's essentially a hold bolted onto the wall, so you are allowed to use those little bolt holes if you can. Anton getting established now, really pulling in on those thumbs and just popping off.
Now, I had someone ask a moment ago, what happens if we have multiple ties in men's or women's at this stage when it's unable to go to countback due to the fact that we have 2 separate groups? Now, I didn't want to say this because it sounded bizarre and it sounded just wrong, but I've just been and spoke to Graham Alderson, who's our technical delegate here, and he's confirmed that they all go through. So we could potentially have 10. Maybe even more. If we have multiple flashes at this semi-final stage and we're unable to go to countback due to there being 2 separate groups, we could end up with more than 6 people going through to the finals, which would be a bit mad, really. I've seen 7 before, but never more than that.
Yeah, never more than 7. So we might need to get a duvet and a pillow for this evening, because it could go the long haul. If we get about 10 in there, we'll be here all night. But I don't know if it'll come down to that. Obviously, Anna Stur's out very early, and obviously being the strongest in the field, we expect to see tops from her. It'd be interesting to see how the middle range of girls do on these boulders, but at the moment, yep, we're seeing tops. And Mikhailo getting established on the slab now, taking his time, securing the bonus. It's got to be really slow and steady on the feet now, transfer the weight, and secure that relatively positive green crimp to finish.
Just slipping off that pinch there on that one. Well, interestingly enough, John, we were just having a look at some of the results coming in for the women's, and we do have multiple flashes at the start of this comp. It is looking like a pretty still, even now, a wide open field. And there was Mikhailo Shalazhin doing exactly what he did on M1, yet again, waiting till the last 5 seconds and managing to get it in.
Yeah, on the buzzer, you got to go all the way down to the wire. These guys really want to make the final, so they're going to be giving it everything on absolutely every single go. We've got Sachi out on men's 4 now, and this looks like one of the more interesting boulders. Obviously, he's done the second and third boulder now, so if he does this third one, he could be in with a really good chance. We've also got Serik Kaspakov's daughter starting on female 4 now. This looks like a relatively basic roof climb for the girls again, so I hope there's a bit of spice a bit higher up, because at the moment we've seen quick tops from all the girls on these boulders, and it looks like they may have set them a little bit too early, but we'll see what happens now. So we've got Rei Sugimoto starting on boulder 1. Sachiyama getting stuck in on men's 4. Just popping off there, unsure of the sequence. So it looks like we've got a bit of funk for men's 4, which is good. And then we've got our first Austrian athlete of the day as well.
Are you talking for the men's or for the women's?
Women's, sorry, yes.
It's our third. This is our third Austrian athlete. We've had Katharina Salvin, we've had Anna Stor, and we're now with Berit Schrager here as well. So we've had quite a good turnout actually for the Austrians at this stage. The interesting thing that I'm looking at when I was looking at the women's results coming through, just Yuka Kobayashi is actually being a bit of a silent horse. She has 2 flashes.
Yeah, fantastic effort from her. 2 flashes she'll be thrilled with. We've got Mina Markovic as well bearing down on this women's 2. She struggled on the first boulder, and again here it's unusual to see her struggling on crimp. She's normally very strong, but taking her time, plenty in the tank to figure it out, and she'll be pressing this up for the top. So we've got a full set of athletes on all the boulders now, plenty to see. Those of you on the split screen watching, obviously there's a lot to take in. The boulders are all over the place, but just look at the tags on the wall if you're struggling to keep a track of what boulder you're watching. If it's M3, that's obviously the male third boulder, F2, female second boulder, and so on. If you haven't already got it as well, it's worth downloading the IFSC Boulder app to keep track of the scores as you're watching.
That's available on all Android devices as well for you to be able to download. I have some guesses coming in at the moment. Then we've got Chong Yin Liang saying Anna's going to win this. It's too obvious. And Prometheus saying my guess in the women's final will be Yula Verm, Anna Stor, Alex Puccio, Shauna Coxey, Akia Noguchi and Melissa Laneve, but I don't want to commit to the order. A safe guess there, I think, from Prometheus, but very similar to what we've been saying as well. We have Sachi Ama here then at the moment. This is looking interesting.
Yeah, finding a really good sequence getting through the orange volume. Getting stood up now, he's been holding on. You can tell his root endurance is really helping here. Looks like a really big move to finish. Obviously you can't see the hold just underneath the scoring there. We might get a better angle a bit later on, but it's a relatively good hold, but he's going to have to pop across for it off this slopey volume.
Sorry. It's quite positive actually, the final hold here is big, like it almost looks like it's got a bit of a jug behind it as well.
Yeah, it's a big jug, but it faces the wrong way, so he's going to have to shoulder it as he jumps to it. But it is very positive, and if he grabs it, he'll be taking it.
Any chance of smearing here on that volume that he's on, the orange one, do you think, John? He's got that 1 foot on the piggyback hold on the point there. Do you think he can get a foot a little bit higher up, perhaps?
No, I think the way the wall is overhanging and the footholds are particularly bad, and he's gone for the jump. You can see they not able to get anything out of smearing on that orange volume. To give you a bit of background about the wall, obviously you can't get the perspective here. It is overhung, and gradually as you go through that climb the sections level off, so the top section of that wall is just slightly overhanging, but it's not good enough to smear on that orange volume.
So what are you thinking then? You think he's got to rely on using the left hand to secure the bonus and then just shift along a little bit, keeping the left foot there and maybe using the right up into the top right hand corner? So he's trying to do it now.
Here we go. See if he can get it on the buzzer. I think that's the way. Left foot on and just give it a good pop to the top. So we've got a new couple of athletes coming out. Cedric Lechat from Switzerland. Obviously there was a bit of a debacle with the Swiss team in qualification yesterday. They missed the isolation deadline, so a lot of their competitors not able to compete, unfortunately. But Cedric Lechat getting in early, obviously had a high world ranking, so he was in very early and made the deadline. And then in the female competition, let's just have a look who we've got coming out.
Well, Anna Storr at the moment with 3 flashes, Katharina Sarvine with 2, Yuka Kobayashi with 2, but both of those athletes have failed to do the third boulder problem here. Evgenia Kaspakova with 2 as well. 2 and 3, Evgenia Kaspakova, and she's failed to do 3 as well. Mina Markovic at the moment with 2 tops in 6 attempts. So it's a bit of a narrower field, I think, in the men's at the moment as well. Sachiyama, 2 tops in 3 attempts in first place. Second place is Armin Terminator with 2 tops in 8 at the moment. Just some feedback coming in from you guys on the Twitter. Then Hannah Wernch saying, back home now, time to watch the semis at Munich. Nice to see you back with us, Hannah. And Mocha B saying, I am still waiting for Mina to flash 1 boulder because it looks like you're going to have to flash problems to be in the finals. Here we see, is it Yuri? Yes, Yuri again on M4, getting up very quickly. Anna just losing it there at that moment. It's got to get that foot up a little bit higher before pushing up at the boat, is what it looks.
Yeah, fantastic mantle from Yuri there. Really interesting approach, just struggling to get his other foot on. But obviously, Anna Storr there, topping out on female 4, so she's topped all 4 boulders very quickly. You know, from memory, I can't remember how many attempts she's had, possibly flashing all of them, but she's almost a dead cert for the final now, I would think.
Well, we were talking earlier as well, saying that based on how she did yesterday, I think she's going to be pretty hungry at the moment to just annihilate this semi-final round and get that place in the finals. When I spoke to her at the end of the day yesterday, just before we saw those last 2 athletes jeopardizing her position in the final, when I spoke to her then, she did actually sound worried. It's the first time that I've really spoke to her where she seemed genuinely concerned that she wasn't going to make semi-finals.
Yeah, well, you know, Anna and Killian, they've always been very good and very consistent at making finals, but they never underestimate the rest of the competition, which I think is a real testament to both of them. They're fantastic athletes and ambassadors for the sport. You know, they don't take it for granted at any competition. They work really hard, and they've got a lot of respect for the rest of the field, which I think is great to see.
Well, this is Cedric now, and he's trying the Russian method and he just couldn't quite stretch enough from where he was, so he's just got himself up the other way and then switched the feet over now, and he's getting into a bit of a better position. He's going to need the other foot on there though, I think, to get up there. That's a bit too much of a big reach for the ape there to get up to the top from where he is.
Yep, Cedric, possibly the most intense individual I've ever met at a competition. Warms up for about 3 hours in isolation, and I've never seen anybody try so hard. But yeah, finding the right methodology here, I think. Sorry.
Well, he's still on the wall here, and Katharina Sarvine is also on female problem 3 now. Still with Yuri Novitsky on men's problem 4 with 1 minute 20 left on the clock, going for a heel hook here, a bit of an unusual method. You think he's going to try and rock over this?
Yeah, he's obviously got a similar method to the way Sachi had. I did like the double mantle he had earlier on in that attempt, but obviously made it quite greedy and he couldn't get his foot on. And Cedric here also figured out that he needs to leave room for that foot, and he's going to be up, but just falling short on the pop.
Just rushed that a little bit, I think, there. He's figured out that he needs the second foot onto the diamond shape behind him to get that bit of extra height, but I think he just went for it a bit too quick. Still 45 seconds, and he's got a nice little beater working there now. He's already back there. Armin again trying a different, Yuri trying a different method again here.
Yep, the double mantle. Really nice approach. It's just, he's going to struggle to get that foot on because he's got his whole hand on top of the foothold. Cedric getting quite frustrated on boulder 1, and Katharina Sarvine on female 3 also struggling to hit that dead point. We thought that would be the crux looking at the problem in viewing, and she's just leaving it now. She'll be frustrated on that boulder because, you know, she's given an opportunity to others. The dead point is, if you latch it, going to make the rest of the climb very easy. But just out of time, and Cedric will be really disappointed. You can see there the frustration, but
a shame for Katja as well. She had such a strong start for the first two blocks, but I think what we were talking about earlier is definitely coming into fruition here. We've got female 3 and female 4 are going to be the ones that divide the competition straight down the middle. Now we have athletes out on female 4. We've had a few of them there. Let's just have a look at female block 4 here then, John. You can see, oh, what's that?
Yep, Chris Parsons is out with the obligatory kangaroo for support in the crowd. Great to see an Australian athlete again. Obviously, James Casey had a great season, but no longer with us on the tour. He's back home in Australia, so hi to him if he's watching. I'm sure he'll be hoping for Chris to make it through to the finals.
Yep, Skippy out into the crowd. Oh. So, looking at female problem 4 then, this moving up through a roof section here. Interesting start using the arete to pull on here before moving up. And they've got all of this this front here to work with then, so it looks like they're going to be using any of this green triangle on the side for the feet, do you think, and turning round on there before then pushing up for the bonus?
Exactly, yeah, that's the way we saw Anna doing it. So once you get up onto this next crim, looks like a shift in feet, and then eventually getting established on the green volume here. Out to the arete if she can, just to provide a bit of opposition. Here we go. Needs to get the feet a bit higher. If she can get her right hand a bit higher over that next lip. Doesn't need it. Fantastic effort.
Nice secure there with the toe hook as well to keep her on the wall as she moved that second hand up to secure that one. Now Yuka's looking pretty good here actually. She was up towards the top, but we've still got a long way to go with the women's though. We've got some extremely well-known, very strong athletes still yet to come. Oh, she missed out on 3, so at the moment that's looking like 3 tops for her out of the 4 all in all, and that is actually a little bit risky considering that some of the later athletes are probably going to come out and flash most of these, or at least succeed in getting all 4.
Yeah, so at the moment, Mikhaila Shaligin from the Ukraine leading the scoreboard, topping all 3 boulders. Quite a few attempts, 3 and 12, so you would expect some of the stronger guys coming out in a bit to reduce the number of attempts, but Chris Parsons here getting stuck into men's 1. Really nice. Now that's a guppy underneath. On guppy watch, we had a guppy, a reverse guppy on that orange volume from Chris Parsons. So obviously, spending a lot of time in the UK, getting used to Percy Bishton's volumes at the works, he's figured out how to hold them.
So was that guppy, was that in the middle of the lower aspect of the diamond, was it?
Exactly, yeah. So using both sides of the volume, so and then concentrating all the power around the point. So it's almost like a pinch, but using the palm of your hand.
Guppy watch from Munich with John Partridge. They're now back on the wall then. Mikhail Pikolro has had a particularly good climb during the qualification round. Here on the ground now, having a little look at men's problem 3 for Italy, and we're back with Armin Terminason on men's problem 4. Now, can he succeed where Yuri was struggling a moment ago? Rei Sugimoto, another one of those guys that I think is more of like a dark horse in these competitions. He does make finals quite often, but it just seems to be, oh, Rei's in the final. You don't quite acknowledge it happening during the semis. It just sort of happens.
Yeah, it's always amazing to see those people who just go through the competitions and you don't see them. They just go about their business like the silent assassins sniping the problems. But yeah, always really strong. Chris Webb figuring out the direct approach. Got a minute 10 left, so pretty sure he'll go for that again.
He knows that now. You can see he's a little bit psyched as he just got down. Then he's a little bit excited now. He knows that's the method that he wants to go with. Look, he's having a bit of a clean on that start hold for his foot, and he's going to chalk up and go again. He's got a minute left. He's going to have to be quick though, getting there, and then not rush the stand up at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mina Markovic here having a lot of attempts at this dead point. She just slipped off that slot a second ago. See if she can get it this time. Really needs a top to put herself in with a chance for qualifying. Really good to see a full set of blocks with competitors out now. A lot for the crowd to watch. Crowd's multiplying as we speak. And Armin really getting stuck in now. Incredible strength mantling this hold.
Chris knows he's got to be quick here. He just came down. He's got 20 seconds left and he's rushing to try and get there again. Come on, Chris, you can make this. You just got to pace yourself. Running out of time.
Here we go, yep. Trust on the knees. Oh, just missing out.
He's going to be so frustrated about that.
Yep, and be interesting to see if my man Dave Barons, aka Jason Bourne, can find the sneaky method here. He's obviously one of the shorter competitors, so he's pretty good at fitting into little spaces, so I wonder if he'll read that groove. Chris falling off very on the last few seconds there, so I don't know if Dave managed to catch a little glimpse of that, maybe help him figure out the sequence earlier on, but Mikhail's back on now, obviously topping out on first three boulders. If he can get a top here, he's in with a great shout for the finals. Cedric Lachat on men's 2 on the slab, straight up to the bonus hold.
Yeah, he has 3 in 12 at the moment, so getting this fourth one as well could put him in a good position. It's just going to be attempts that could damage him when we move towards some of the other more well-known athletes. Here he is with that mantle, then with the hands, and now he's switching his feet over. He's going to have to take that hand off to get the foot on.
Yeah, absolutely. He needs to get that hand off. He's just left room for the heel. So if he can get his toe on now, get a bit more established on this volley, really slopey, just popping off, unfortunately. But we've got Yana Chereshneva from Russia as well on boulder 1.
So a good start there for Mikhail Shalazhin. He's got 3 minutes 30 left, so plenty of time, and he's already kind of almost figured out the correct beater that he's going to be using on that. I mean, he's found himself a nice beater there as well. Aya and Noe is one to keep your eyes on as well, John, as we move through this one. She's got, that was her second, she's just topped. She flashed the first one. She made finals in Innsbruck just recently. She's still very, very young. She was at the World Youth Championships with us in Canada recently, and I think she's another kind of dark horse, the one that slips through every now and then.
Yeah, and Catalina Salvine there, topping out on female 4. Looks pretty disappointed, but she'll still be in the mix. I think maybe she's still got 3 tops. So too early to say if that's going to be enough. Obviously Anna Sturr topping out 4 and 4 and dominating proceedings at this moment, but Yana here on female 1, just getting up on the volume. Good compression from her, and just slipping off on the feet. Dave Barons now, men's 1, not yet found that direct method, choosing to go outright on the slopey volumes. Dave's a really strong climber on pinches. As I mentioned before, he's one of the shorter competitors and tends to find his levers are very, very strong because of his height, but sometimes that does play against him when the problems are a bit reachy. But enjoying these pinches at the moment, see if he can hit the dead point now.
Shout out to some of you guys joining us from Australia at the moment on the chat feed. So to Sport Climbing Australia, to Cam Harrison, who's with us as well, saying smash it out, Chris, you're looking strong, and to ICP, who are all sending their support for Chris Webb Parsons here after his first climb. Also a shout out to Bram, saying Monk local Rustam Galmanov prepping for his semis, Ali Rustam. So I think you're actually here at the venue, actually, Bram. You were taking some pictures yesterday. And another shout out as well to Ben, that's with us also, saying streaming from Perth, Western Australia. Great to see an Aussie competing. It's going to be a late one for you guys. I hope you stick with us as we move in towards the finals later on tonight. Get the coffee and get it ready. Me and Johnny here are on the Red Bulls already.
Yeah, and if we get that situation where we've got a lot of ties for semi-finals, we mentioned earlier we might have more than 6 women in the final, but we'll see. If it is, it could be a long night. Mikhailo here going for the double mantle method. Really good strength from him. He knows he's in with a great shout, having done the first 3 boulders, so if he can get a top here, he'd be in with a great chance. Dave Barons taking his time, 1 minute left now. Anton Johansson showing frustration there on men's 3. And Yana here on female 1. See if she can get round onto this hold now. Pretty, just popping off. That's the last few attempts where her feet have just slipped off on those holds, so she'll be frustrated.
I was going to say, yeah, that was definitely the footing there at that point. The pinch that she had up with the left looked relatively solid there. It's just I think she hadn't quite secured it before the feet went at that point. Mikhailo here, though,
lining it up. I think he knows he's got a pop now, so let's see if he can get enough momentum. Here we go. Ali Mikhailo. Come on. Just not enough footholds to stand on, so he's really got to jump from this left-hand crimp that he stood on. Just falling short, but looks like a really tough last move. Be interested to see what some of the guys coming out later on will do, whether they'll end up going higher up on the green volume to get a bit more height, or whether they'll find another place to stand on. But great effort from him. Three tops.
There's got to be another place there for your feet to move up to. I mean, that is just such a big pop from that point. If you have to keep a foot on the pinnacle of that orange, it's just getting brushed now, that orange pyramid, you have to keep a foot there. You have to be kind of Jorg's height or your height to be able to get anywhere near it. I mean, there must be a way of smearing somehow, or moving up and wedging your foot in that corner, or maybe even the green. But you could see Michelo wanted to go for the green then with the right foot, and he just didn't feel safe putting it there. It's a really weird finish here on M4.
Yeah, it's a really difficult boulder because you've got not very many foothold options, which obviously makes it a bit more basic, but the final green hold is very, very slopey, so they're really reluctant to leave that, which of course makes any momentum they generate with their legs even harder as well. We've got Rei Sugimoto here, straight up on men's 3. I think that was a flash for him. Excellent effort. And Monica Recchi.
Hey, you spotted it. He's usually, as I said, the dark horse. He's the one that just comes out, does it, and gets through. The people that another athlete worth definitely mentioning, another very, very quick top there from Monica Recchi as well. She was really strong yesterday. Her and Eula all the way through the qualifications just smashed it. So I think we could see possibilities of either of those going through into the finals as well if they're able to repeat yesterday's performance. Mina is in a bit of a shaky position at the moment, actually, Markovic. Just having a look at it now. She's got 2 tops in 6 so far, and no top on problem 3 for the women. So this is a she's going to have to do this pretty quick if she wants to stand a chance of going through.
Yeah, and obviously here she's just struggling to get the left hand on the undercut. Once she gets back out on the arete, she should be in a good position. But as you say, really needs a top now to stand a chance of making finals.
Another German athlete as well out on men's 1 again. It's Jonas Baumann here, and Chris Parsons back out now on men's problem 2. Eric Schweger of Austria on female problem 3. You can just see next to Chris there in the bottom left corner of your screen, and Katarina Andreeva on women's problem 2. Had a good run yesterday as well. A top there for Mina Markovic. She's managed to secure that one. Was that a flash? I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, she was hanging around for a long time on that, so great effort from her. Route endurance paying dividends. 3 tops. On initial inspection, obviously with Anna flashing all 4, we don't think that's going to be enough, but still early days, a lot of girls to come out. Chris Webb-Parsons there going low and seeing if he could get a bridge in very low down, but struggling on the slab so far. I know he's much more confident on the steeper stuff. He's in great shape at the moment.
The thing is about Mina as well is that she will have switched onto, well, she definitely has, because I mean the lead season is fully taken off now, so all of her training and she will have switched over onto lead training at the moment, so she's not really in boulder zone anymore. She qualified quite low yesterday, and she's had a problem again here today. It's interesting to see how much it can affect you switching your training from a boulder only routine at the start of the year when it's mainly the boulder comps to then a more endurance sustained style of climbing. Do you do any lead yourself, John?
No, it's just a lot of hard work, I think, to be honest. You know, I struggle to do 12 moves, let alone 50. But yeah, I mean, Mina has been doing the route circuit and the boulder circuit for such a long time now. I don't think she really struggles with differentiating. Obviously, different skills, but she's such a seasoned competitor now. I think really it just boils down to potentially some blocks not suiting her. She's one of the shorter competitors, so the third boulder, which she was struggling to secure the dead point on, probably maybe due to a height thing, but a lot of the girls have been struggling on that. And we've got our Italian climber, Michael here, just going for the mantle. Really difficult move.
Has that been the most successful method so far that we've seen on M4? I mean, have we seen some athletes trying to use the green still to get up before, and putting a foot on first before moving up there?
Yeah, I think from watching the few competitors we've had so far that men's 4 method, the double mantle, has got to be the best way, provided you leave enough room to get your foot on afterwards. It's always really hard in those positions not to be greedy and take all the hold for your hand. So we see here Michael, he's going for a slightly different method now. Jonas Baumann here on number 1, finding the direct method, just falling short. He'll be frustrated, not enough time to have another go. Still plenty, 3 more boulders to go, but real missed opportunity. And here we go, we've got Rustam Gelmanov, trademark haircut. Let's see if he figures out the direct route, or whether he gets outright crimping. We know that's his strength.
Where's your trademark haircut? You should like shave your head and then just spray the Union Jack on it. What about that?
I haven't got a strong enough personality, I don't think. Average John, that's my zone of terror. No, I can't adopt a Yerne handprint on the head, for example, or a Rustam mullet. I mean, to be honest, I don't know about everyone else, but I missed the Rustam mullet. It was a pretty good couple of seasons ago. I don't want to say that was directly linked to his results, but we did see a drop-off when the mullet went. But
Samson lives.
Dave Barron's now on men's 2, getting stuck into the slab.
Now Aya is here. Now she's done very, very well throughout this comp. We saw her flash the last one. Just going to check her results so far at the moment. But if she can do well here, she's got a good chance at this. Yeah, she's got 2 flashes so far. And there we are, coming down on this one. She's not going to get a flash here on problem 3. But if she can do it and then succeed well enough on 4, then she should be standing a good chance of going through to finals, actually. Rustam here, you know, as we said, they love the crimps. We thought the Russians would be able to do well on the traditional beta that's intended on this block. And here is Rustam doing just that.
Yeah, he's not sure whether to line up the jump or to try and crimp, taking his time. He's in heaven here on these small crimps. He's just so strong. Choosing to roll over, fantastic. And just going to press it out. Let's hope he can secure the top now. Great effort from Rustam. Very, very strong start. Flashing the harder beta.
Yeah, the first athlete that we've seen actually using the method intended there and managing to do it and doing it so well. There you can see the rain in the background there as well. It's absolutely pouring it down. We've got this beautiful, massive roof above us. John, did you know that they used this stadium for rollerball? Have you ever seen rollerball? The 1970s film. Like it's like death matches on roller skates.
That was here?
They filmed it here because back then it was really futuristic. I still think it's pretty futuristic, actually.
It's a pretty incredible building, actually. I was lucky enough to go to the London Olympics this year and see, obviously the buildings there were pretty spectacular, but this, I mean, if this was 20 years ago, it must have been
40 years ago.
40 years.
Yeah, it celebrated its 40th birthday at this stadium last year. We were here for the 40th year celebration, so it's 41 this year.
I hope I look this good when I'm 41.
You don't get your glass panels replaced every 4 years, though, do you?
No, that's true. That's true. So we've got Millicent Neve out on female 1, Anton Johansson finishing up his competition on 4, Cedric Lachau on 3, Dave Barron's on 2, and we've got Aya Ono on female 3.
So no flash for her on this one. She's had a couple of tries at this. We've seen a lot of the female athletes knocking up a couple of attempts on this one, other than Anna Storr, of course, who just came out and flashed everything, which is exactly what I thought she'd do. After yesterday and the stress and all the a little bit of worry about not possibly making the semis, it was obvious she wanted to come back and just smash it today, and she's done just that.
Yeah, she'll have loved being out early. Fresh holds. The thing with coming out later is not only are the holds in slightly worse condition, there's more chalk and there's more clues, as it were, to look at, and that can throw out your interpretation of how to climb the problem. If there's lots of chalk everywhere, you don't really know the best method, whereas if you're out earlier, all you can see is the route setter's chalk, and generally speaking, that shows you the way that the route setters have done it. But coming out early, she'll have enjoyed that. She obviously comes out early in the qualifiers, so a climber of her quality, it makes no difference really when she comes out. She's going to give it maximum effort whenever, but she'll be obviously in the final now and resting up, trying to bring her A game for later on.
See, the interesting thing is, you were saying about F3 that it could be a height thing getting up onto that bonus there, and Aya Noe is one of the smaller climbers, is struggling here with that. But interestingly enough, Anna Storr is also one of the smaller climbers, and she's she flashed it. So there must be a method as a shorter climber of getting up there. Now, if you were a short climber at this stage, what would you be doing here? Would you be trying to get your foot up onto that where that right handhold is before going for the bonus?
Yeah, well, we've seen quite a few different methods for the girls whether to go really high up with the left hand on the orange volume, which gives you that little bit more height, but obviously the hold isn't as good. The best bit is right on the corner where the brusher is on the point. So tough to know which way to do it. Aya obviously there just taking a card, going back into isolation and rest up for the final boulder. And Anton Johansson finished. Looks like he's had a pretty rough time there. I know
Cedric as well. Cedric Schatz having a bit of a rough time of it. He was up towards the pinch on M3, which Chris Webb-Parsons is now coming out on. Now Chris had a bit of a bad time on M2 and M1, so it's looking a bit shaky for Chris now, and it's also looking shaky for Cedric Lechat.
Yep, we've obviously seen Mikhailo top 3 of the boulders. Rustam's come out and flash men's 1, so with the level of depth, quality in the field still to come, we're going to need a lot of tops, I think, potentially at least 3 to make the final. So they're going to want to get a top early on, stand a good chance. So we've got another German competitor in the men's out now. Philip, I believe this is his first semi-final. Great effort from him yesterday. And Rei Sugimoto going about his business again, very quick getting on this boulder. Trying to get the heel hook in for this one. We've seen a couple of different methods. Generally speaking, the easier way is to mantle that corner. I think he's realised that now. Chris Webb-Parsons straight in there as well, securing the bonus hold. Big dead point now. Great effort from him, showing real strength. Looking really strong at the moment. See if he can close this down now. And Monica Recci on female 2. Real cruise control, pulling through these crimps. And Chris Webb here, just touching it. Come on, Chris. Nice. Closing the crimp and top for him. He's thrilled with that.
Well, at the moment in the men's, it's 3 tops from Mikhailo Shalajin that puts him in first place. Rei Sugimoto with 2 flashes, and he's now working his way on men's problem 4. So second place is 2 tops. So if Chris is able to really push on men's problem 4 and do some work a little bit of magic on that one, there's still a chance. But the thing is, we've still got so many really strong athletes yet to come. We've got Philipp Rataziak now out for Germany, but then after him we have Jakob Schubert, Jerne Kruder, Dmitry Sharafutinov, Jan Hoye, Thomas Tauborn, Kilian Fischuber and Sean McCall. So 7 already still to come, who pretty much all will be going through to the finals based on previous results.
Yeah, they're not bad, are they? They're pretty good. So yeah, we're definitely going to see some more tops. It's just going to be obviously the number of attempts for these guys. The margins of error between these competitors is so small now. So if you read the sequence right, get a bit of luck, can have a completely different competition. Ray really struggling to find the body position here. Not got established onto the orange volume, which we've seen the others who have got stood up have done. Glad to see a bit of funk though, because earlier on we were worried that there wasn't going to be enough to separate the guys, but it looks like we've got a good set.
You're loving that word today. It keeps emerging.
Which one?
Funk.
Funk. Yeah, bring the funk.
Mark Bullock here on Twitter saying Zoiks, which is another word I haven't heard in a really long time, since 1990. It's unnerving to see monsters like Barons and Chris Webb-Parsons spat off and then Rustam flash the same problem. How strong? Yeah, absolutely. And, Rustam's had a bit of a bizarre year though as well this year. He's been very up and down throughout. Over in Chongqing, he didn't have a particularly good run out there. Dmitry this year has just been so strong, and he's going to be coming out a little bit later as well.
Yep. I mean, we've just talked about the quality of the field. That's why it's so up and down for these guys now. Apart from Dmitry, who's obviously a bit of an enigma, having a fantastic season. Generally speaking, we've seen quite a mixed bag of finalists and semi-finalists throughout the year. That there's just so many good guys who are all capable of making a... If we look at the qualifiers, if you look at the start list, you've maybe got 70 guys on there. 40 of them could all make the semi-final. From the 20 in the semi-final, all 20 of them could maybe make a final. You know, it's so competitive, and it's pretty much the same in the women's field as well now. So Ray's got onto the corner now, but not enjoying the mantle. We've also got Anna Galiamova as well, out climbing on female 1. She climbed really well yesterday, but not finding the right sequence at the moment. Looks like she might be struggling with skin.
Philipp is moving up. He's found that unusual beta that we've been seeing work its way along every athlete on M1. He's got 20 seconds left there. It's the same position we saw Christopher Parsons in at this point, where they've been figuring it out a little bit too late and just needed a couple of extra attempts at it. He's got 9 seconds now. Can he get up there? As the 5 seconds start to flash, he's going to just go for it, I think. Or not. No. And he knows that he has to get off there. 5 minutes, very strict here at the semi-finals. 4 minute plus in the finals. If any of you guys have any questions at all, get in touch with us on Twitter using the hashtag IFSCWC. Any questions for either myself or Mr. Johnson Partridge, who's sitting here next to me in the commentary desk / tent that we've built here due to the rain that's coming in on our heads.
Yeah, I think we've got the rough deal here. This massive glass building, and we found the one bit that has a leak in it. So unlucky for us, but Cedric here straight up on the mantle. Really physical climber, so if you can get this foot on, he'll be in with a good shout. You could just see all the weight going through that left hand, so he might not have left enough room for his foot. Melanie Sando, as I said earlier, climbed really well coming back from injury yesterday, and she's romping through this first boulder. Jakob about to start his first men's problem here, choosing to go out right straight away. Rustam not enjoying the slab, but not that we predicted it, but we've said before that generally speaking they don't tend to like the slab problems. I'm sure he'll be up in a second though. Dave Barron's just missing the dead point on men's 3. Great to see so many competitors out on the wall. It's what the crowd really want to see, is people trying to figure these climbs out. And then we've got Aya on her final boulder of the day, showing her route endurance as well now. Just missing out on that crimp. Maybe needs to get her right foot out onto the orange volume to get the better position, but yeah, she'll need to rethink things for that.
Really, really interesting watching Jakob's thought process then at the start of M1. Schubert now out here. Spent a long time in the start position trying to figure out what to do. You can see his head going left and right, left and right. Not sure whether it was going to go right with it, and then he did and came off. And again, you can just see the way he's looking around, trying to figure out what he's going to do here. It's interesting to see, and I wonder whether he's going to figure out this alternate beta, or whether he's going to go for it the traditional way.
Yeah, as I said before, there's going to be more clues knocking around for these later guys, so he'll have seen the boot rubber on that left hold, and as you can see now, he's trying that method. He obviously came out, the previous German competitor, Philip, who was on the problem before, was on after his allocation, and he was fully established in the groove, so no doubt when Jakob came out, he maybe got a sneaky peek at that, but he's obviously still thinking he should go out right. That's the way the route setters have set it, so it will feel more intuitive to go that way, but obviously it's more difficult, and we can see here Rustam crimping the back of the grey volume. Needs to get the weight through his foot. You can see with his heel on the volume, really slopey foothold, not comfortable on his feet. And Dave Barron's got the hold now, needs to get his feet up. Yeah, very strong from him. Just getting greedy again, not leaving room, but he's got the method now. 2 minutes on the clock. I'm sure we'll see a top.
Jakob's going to be kicking himself here if he doesn't manage to get this on M1. Going for another attempt now with 1 minute 40 left on the clock, and it's looking like he's still planning on going over to the right. Let's wait and see what he does here with his feet. Yep, still trying the traditional beta on this one. Aya and Noe on FEMA problem 4, still pushing there as well. Rustam struggling with the slab. We know that the Russians don't particularly enjoy the slabs. How's everyone doing? What do you think of the blocks then? These are set by Mano Hassler, our chief route setter here. And we saw him in Mio earlier this year. He's also set championships before as well. So a very well-known chief, very well-experienced chief. Big shout up as well to Tony and the camera. Toby and the cameramen, the camera crew that are here working with us, because they've been fantastic throughout this event, and they're still slugging out hard for us now. So big thanks to them. I mean, they always put on a good show here for us. Organisation's fantastic.
Well, there is Rustam. He's managed to get there right at the very end. 8 seconds left to go, and Jakob just slipping on the penultimate hold there at that point. Very, very close, but he's going to be very disappointed in that one. We now move on to Jenny Levada back out and Jerne Kruder. Jenny on female problem 1 and Jerne on men's problem 1. Chris Parsons out for the final climb of the day. Well, for the semis for him at least. Let's hope he can do a good one here. And Jonas Baumann, Anna Galiamova, Katerina Andreeva and Monika Recchi still out as well. Looking at the scores then, Recchi down in joint 6th at the moment with 2 tops, 2 flashes basically. She's tied with Anna and Noe. And those are our joint tied 6ths at the moment. We've still got quite a few more athletes yet to come, though. It's going to be interesting if we do see more than 6 athletes progressing. I've seen 7 before, but never more than that.
Yes, we've got Jenny Levada out on female 1. Really strong climber, obviously experienced in all disciplines. Former ice climbing world champion as well, from memory. Jonas Baumann just getting frustrated on men's 3. Chris Parsons straight on men's 4, crimping the back of that orange volume into the mantle and getting up. Great effort from him. Just needs to get his foot on now. Real strength from him. Just not enough room with his hand, for his foot where his hand is. And we've got Monika Recchi here on female 3. Looking really strong, climbing very well in the qualification yesterday. Needs to get this dead point. Just missing out. For those of you who can't see that hold, it's a slot hold, so you've got to be really precise with the fingers to get inside there and get the instant tension. Jerne here on men's 1. Getting stuck into these volumes. He's seen the boot rubber on that left, so good flexibility from him, using the hand to get up there. Then we've got Philip on the slab here. Needs to get on board with those feet. Jana Chesma on female 2, crimping her way through. Very nice control, but just missing out on the arete there. Looks like the feet are causing a bit of problems here for the Russian girls. We've seen quite a lot of them popping off. They're obviously very strong on the crimp, but need to find the right body position for the feet. Chris Parsons climbing really quickly. He's obviously feeling really positive after that top on men's 3. Jenny Levada back on female 1 as well. Chris just struggling to figure out the sequence here. It's great to see the competitors having so many attempts on these boulders. Looks like we've had some really interesting boulders from the route setters, challenging them in lots of different ways. It's nice to see so many attempts for competitors. Sometimes, you know, you can see them on a problem for a minute and a half. It's good to see them having multiple tries, getting tired.
So Chris, 1 minute 50 left on the clock. And still here on the mat. Monika Recchi still working as well here on female problem 3. There's a lot of support there from the crowd. You can probably hear that coming down the waves to you. For all of the German athletes here, the crowd is now more or less completely full here. I think we must have at least 5,000 here in the space in front of the wall, and then if you count the stands as well. This is just the semis. We're expecting an even bigger crowd for tonight, and DJs will be turning that music up a little bit as well there. Big shout out to James Casey joining us, missing him here at the competition itself. So hello James, I hope you're doing well. Looking forward to seeing you again next year, and let's get some support going here for Chris Parsons and his last climb here. 43 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, Chris getting on board. He's getting up to the bonus very easily, but just not finding the right body position to get his heel on. Really pressing hard now, but as you can see, he's got his hand just where he needs his foot. Mikhailo had a really good approach on that, which was to put his right hand really far across on the right so that he could leave room for his left foot to get on once he got pushed up. But Chris just struggling there, bit of cramp maybe in his left leg. Jonas not having fun with this men's 3 with the jump move on the going sideways.
Ruder as well having a problem here on M1. He's given up there at the last point. It looked like he'd found that different beta there for that one, but he's given up at the last. Now Dmitry Sharafutinov now out and want to keep an eye on as we move through this competition. We would expect to definitely see him through into the finals. Next up as well for the female athletes, it's Petra Klingler of Switzerland, now out on female problem 1. Dave Barron's back, Rustam Gelmanov, Melanie Sandoz. And we also have Melissa Leneve, Jakob Schubert, Jana Schorisch-Neber out on the field as well. So what a semi-finals, eh? You've got the full spectrum here.
Yeah, good spread of nationalities again. Shows the depth of competition climbing across the world now. I think we're experiencing some real growth. Rustam really going about his business today. 2 tops so far. Petra Klingler powering through this female one. She climbed really well yesterday. Dave Barron's on his final problem. See if he can get established up onto this bonus hold. Just fumbling. And Jakob Schubert, obviously the disappointment falling on the last move of the first problem. See if he can get straight up on this slab. Really difficult balance position here. You can see him there with the flat of his left hand, trying to get as much tension through. Really precarious.
Now I know a few of you were asking just whether Rustam managed to get that top over on Twitter. I got a few of you asking what's going on there, and also on the YouTube saying asking about that one. Well, Rustam is now on the 3rd one, and currently he has 2 tops in 7. So according to the results that we have, yes, he definitely did get the top. I think there was a moment there with the judge, but looking like at the moment for us, yeah, 2 tops in 7 gives Rustam that top, and is currently putting him in 4th place. Mikhailo Shalazhin still sitting there in 1st. So at the moment there is a chance for him to make it through.
Yeah, Dmitry here, uncharacteristically finding this first section quite difficult. Someone of his caliber, you know, you'd expect him to be figuring it out early. Rustam just crimped his way across those volumes. Very impressive effort from him. But you can see Dmitry's found the boot rubber there now, and he'll be looking straight up. Still convinced to go right though. I'm sure he'll figure it out. And got Dave Barron's here just taking a minute before getting back on that mantle. Jakob Schubert again slipping off that foothold, showing his frustration. Melissa Leneve lining up that dead point in a second.
Jakob doesn't look to be having too good a time with things here at the moment. He's got 2 minutes 25 seconds left on the clock. He had problems on men's problem 1, and he's having difficulties on men's problem 2 here as well now. This could be a little bit risky for him. He's one of the contenders for the overall World Cup silver medal and bronze medal place. A bad run here could really damage the podium position. So we wait and see.
Yep, you know, he needs to get a top on the board to stand a chance. Mikhailo leading the way with 3. Obviously, we've got Rustam out, campusing his way through men's 3. Awesome, looks in great shape today. Sachi, I think, had the most interesting method on this, putting his heel up to his hand and going up left hand. But Dmitry's on board the green volume now. Let's see if he can crimp his way through. We've got Yana Chezhima from Russia, also on female 4. Cruising through this roof section.
What was that last name again, John? It's Jana Schorisch-Neber, yes. Well, and I think I'm probably pronouncing it wrong as well, but at least mine's coherent. Anyway. Schorisch-Neber. Yeah. Is that what I mean?
That's what I said.
Well, we'll say it that way then, from now on. Okay, we're with Dave Barron's. It's David Barons now on men's problem 4.
AKA Jason Bourne. Yeah.
Rustam, though, seems to be having a problem when he hits that bonus at this stage. And yeah, he's doing that really strong campus up to there. And I think you're right with the method that Sachi was using there was really impressive with the heel. But is Rustam now pushing for it? Got to get that foot on though.
Well, what's interesting there is the judge got up to correct Rustam, thinking that he'd not started right, but ended up giving it him. So I'm not sure what's going there, but 3 tops from him. So that'll put him right at the top of the leaderboard, I think, on number of attempts. But Mikhailo's still in with the shout, and Dave Barron's very frustrated, not enjoying the tour this afternoon, and he's had enough.
Mike's just give us a shout out from the truck saying that he actually saw Rustam Gelmanov training in Imst with one of the Slovenian coaches and said that he was looking really, really strong there as well. That's the brilliant indoor boulder gym, and the facilities that they've got there is fantastic. But yeah, is there something going on with Rustam and the judges today? Are they having a bad time, or?
No, I just think the judge wanted to make sure he had the correct start, so he got up to pull him off, but then Rustam corrected himself and judge sat back down. So yeah, great effort from him, cruising through with the campus method on there. And here's the powerhouse, the Mustang of climbing that is Jan Hoja.
I've not heard that before. That's great. I'm using that definitely. The Mustang of climbing. I'm liking it.
It's not pretty, but he's got a V8 engine under there, and he's just going to obliterate whatever comes in front of him. And of course, Julia Worm straight up on female one now. Got a lot of taping on the right leg.
I'm not entirely sure what's going on with these two climbers, actually. I don't know what Udo's doing to them back at home, but they always seem to end up climbing together and doing pretty much exactly the same. Now, we saw them in Vale last year. They were both in the running for the gold medal in the finals. They looked like they had secured it, and then at the last moment, they both came third. They lost out on the last, both of them, again, on the last block, ended up coming third. We saw them at Innsbruck this year, do exactly the same all the way through and take both the golds there, and now they're coming out the same place in the semis here. I don't know what's going on. It's like they're the German twins of climbing. Julia Worm and Jan Hoja, the Mustang.
Yeah, very bizarre. I mean, coincidence of results there. And of course, we've got Jonas Baumann and Monica Recchi as well, both climbing really well. Monica taking a different approach through this section now. Got Anna Galimova on female 3. She's obviously a taller competitor. Yesterday, really using her height to her advantage. So let's see if she can do this dead point.
Actually, shouldn't it be a Volkswagen for Jan Hoja as opposed to a Mustang?
I think
He's just a beast, isn't he?
Yeah, it's just like over-the-top power.
He's done it there again straight away. I think that he didn't take many attempts. I definitely saw one prior to that where he got a hand on the top hole but didn't manage to secure it. But there it is, he's got it now. Monica Recchi is looking good here as well. The Germans getting right behind this team here. They've got a great, very, very powerful team in bouldering.
Yeah, and Monica just missing out there. I think if she can get her right hand just above that panel join, she'll get a slightly better grip because if it goes more vertical. Julianne getting back on as well, just slipping off though.
We saw that with Yuka Kobayashi earlier, didn't we, on the arete? You were expecting her to shift the hand up a little bit. She didn't. She went for it and got it, but it did look like it was a bit of a stretch. So you're expecting to see the arete with Monica just shuffling up a little bit more on the right here?
Yeah, just get above the panel join where the angle changes. That way they can get a bit more grip. And Jerne crimping the back of the volume on men's 2. Of course, that's absolutely legitimate. You're allowed to do that. If it was the edge of the wall, then that would be different, but we've got no tape demarqué.
That was a really interesting method that Jonas Baumann was just trying to use on men's problem 4. He'd got a heel hook with the right foot on the pinnacle point on the top of the pyramid, and then he'd got his hands at the 2 higher edges up there at the arete. I don't know whether you'd call that a guppy, John. I'm still understanding that term.
We'll go through your training. We'll continue the guppy training. I didn't actually see Jonas on there,
but it was a really different approach. Really nice to see as well. It looked like it was a bit tough for him. He didn't look too comfortable, but it was nice to see some of the athletes trying some different things here.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of chalk knocking around now. Plenty of competitors trying different methods. So Jonas has obviously seen a slightly different way through this. But we've seen the majority of people adopting the double mantle. We've got Philip here on men's 3. Hard, big move out left. Really needs to push up on the feet.
How strange is it to see Eula struggling on female problem 1 when the first, say, 8 athletes that came out have just gone straight up that with no real problem at all? It's really bizarre.
Yeah, hard to say at this point whether the conditions have got very greasy. You know, that hold she's holding onto now is one of those slopey crimps. That's a slightly more in-cut one, but you can see that she can't quite close her hand off. Really struggling with just being able to hold the holds. Real frustration from her and Jonas.
Yeah, Jonas clearly just shaking his head there. I don't think Jonas knows quite what to do with that large orange pyramid there.
Yeah, well, we've not seen a top yet on men's 4 to date. We've got Rustam coming out next onto that. I'm sure he'll be putting in a good turn. He's the only one, apart from Mikhailo, to top 3 boulders so far. Be good to see a full set of boulders be completed by the men. We've obviously had Anna Sturr flashing the first four for the women. And Monica Recchi calling it a day there.
Well, I can tell you now that at the present moment in time, Aya Inoue is out of the final. We have Monica Recchi in 6th place at the moment with 2 tops in 2. So 2 flashes, 3 bonuses in 3. At the moment is what gets you through into the final in the female competitors side of thing. I'm going to have a little look in a moment at the men's when we jump onto that one in a second. So at the moment, Yuka Kobayashi is in, Mina Markovic is in, Katarina Sarvine is in, and in 2nd place with 3 flashes, 3 tops in 3, 3 bonuses in 3. She's in tied 2nd with Dinara Fakhretdinova, who has the same score there as well. And of course, it's Sturr all the way in 1st place position with 4 flashes there. We've still got a lot of very talented female athletes yet to come. Well, 3. A lot. Akio Noguchi, Shauna Coxey and Alex Puccio. Now all of those stand a chance. And Akio's out here now on female problem 1. Thomas Tauporn on men's problem 1. What do we think about Thomas then in the bouldering, Jonathan?
Yeah, well, Thomas has had a great season again. Really strong route climber as well. He's made a couple of finals this year. He's got a fantastic, it's really fun to watch climb. He just seems to float through problems. Just popping off on the volume, but he's a fantastic talent. And Rustam here straight up on men's 4. As we said, we're not too sure how it's going to be finished. No hands rest for Rustam on this boulder. Incredible. You can see the angle just dipping off at the end, allowing him to do that.
Well, he's doing what you said you thought you'd see here, trying to get up as high with the hand as you can on the green volume, but what's he going to do with his feet? And this is what I thought we'd see in the top corner there, the orange one, but is he going to be able to keep it there? That's the thing.
That's the problem. The volume, the way the good hold is on the point there, as you can see where his thumb catches, that leans his body out from the wall. So to drive the weight through the feet, you really need to be on top of them at that angle, but Rustam's going to go and try and crimp this back of this volume. Very impressive from him, but you can just see there, it's so slopey. He's actually crimping onto one of the bolt holes on the top left-hand corner. Top there for Akio on block 1, putting even more pressure on Julian Verm, who couldn't make the top there. She'll be really disappointed. Melissa Lenev at the top of female 4 here.
That was a top for Thomas Tauporn as well there, so he's come out and started strong here on men's problem 1. Both Jan and Thomas now have a top on men's problem 1.
Yep, and Melissa Lenev finishing off her semi-final in style with a good top. Melanie Sando just struggling to hold on to that volume now. Conditions must be getting a bit more difficult for the girls and guys. Jakob Schubert having a bit of a mare today in the semi-final, really struggling with the boulders.
He's not done well at all so far. He's right down on the board with 1 top in 5 attempts, I believe, at the moment.
Yeah, and as we said earlier on, he's one of the guys fighting for a podium place in the overall ranking, so he'll really need to get another top on here. Looking really strong, but just not quite finding the right body position. Good strength from him here. Needs to hit this dead point now. Come on, Jakob. Yeah, good strength from him now. Needs to get the heel up high and lock it down for the top. Here we go. Great strength from him. Just fluffing it.
Looking like he was using a toe there on the right.
Yeah, I think he had his heel on the underside of the volume, perhaps actually needing it on the top hold. Rustam's back on, crimp watch. Just falling off. Obviously making it flashing all the way to the top on his first go, so he knows what he needs to do to get back up there. Let's hope he's got enough juice in the tank in this last minute just to get another top on the board. We've not seen a top for men's 4 yet. But Rustam looking in great shape, floating through this section. Melanie Sando, hand on hip, not enjoying the slab. In fairness, not many of the girls have enjoyed the slab today. Only Anna Sturr, I think, topping out on this boulder. And she absolutely cruised it straight to the top. Jakob's back on. He's another one of the athletes, obviously, mixing it up in terms of training. Route climber as well as boulderer. Really strong through this section. Now he's got the right foot in the right place. And we've got another top for Jakob. Great, he's happy for that. Be very frustrated not to have done it sooner, but still tops the top and puts himself in with a shot.
Well, I can tell you now that the 6th place position to get into the final rests with Armin Terminason at the moment with 2 tops in 8, 4 bonuses in 12. Cedric Lechat is out, Christopher Parsons is out, unfortunately. Jan Hoyer is in 11th place already, as is Thomas Tarporn, after only 1 block climbed and attempted so far. So I think they're going to be doing a bit of challenging here for the men's.
Yeah, and our resident powerhouse, Jan Hoyer, back out on men's 2 now. See if he can maul his way through these volumes. And of course we've got Kilian Fischuber, the man, the legend, on block 1.
And Shauna Coxey on female problem 1. So moving towards the end of today, these are our penultimate athletes to emerge.
Yeah, I obviously didn't want to say Shauna Coxey, the premier British climber at the moment. Absolute cruise control. Our whole family's here this weekend. Her mum, dad, and some of her sisters. Great support for her yesterday. I know she was quite embarrassed by the amount of support, but yeah, she's had a great time and cruising through this first boulder. Adopting the trousers today, interestingly, so cooler temperatures.
Fashion tips with John Partridge.
Fashion tips. Fashion. And Yerne, straight up as well. Great effort from him. Believe that was a flash.
The thing is, I don't know, due to the start for Yerne, whether he's actually going to be able to make finals now, based on that tricky start.
Yeah, and Jan got stood up on the slab there, but just popped off. The bonus hold is very, very bad. It's more of a thumb catch than anything else. Kilian here, in a world of pain on those volumes, not quite find the right way through them. But seeing that foothold, let's see if he can get back on, find the direct method. That seems to be the easiest one. And Jan's back on the slab now. I'm sure we'll see him pop across to the top. Just falling short.
I think that could be the way to do it, actually. A quick transfer of weight over to the right, as long as you're not going too close to that black tape. You can get on that little lean out with your lower right hand before then going up to the top and just going for it quickly, because the longer you stay there, as we've seen, the higher the chance of your feet giving out underneath you is.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw that yesterday in men's 5 in the qualifier in Group A. The falling across method. We've seen Julianne Worm. She obviously struggled on the first boulder, but we just got a top there from her, so she's registered a top, putting herself in the mix. She needs to climb really well on the last 2 to stand a chance of getting into the final. Kilian still not figured out the sequence either, and Philip likewise on men's 4, struggling to get up onto this bonus hold.
See, the thing about Jan Hoyer on this one as well is he's got the height for this. He's reasonably tall, and that's going to help him with this finishing up here. He's got 2 minutes still left on the clock. Now you see he's trying to bridge. He's stemming across at a drop knee. Look at that.
Yeah, great effort from Jan. Great technique. Using his height to his advantage there, just getting bridged out, and he'll be happy with that. Quick look at the scoreboard in the middle.
And he should know by now that he's doing pretty well to start off. He was straight up on men's problem 1. He's got there pretty quick on men's problem 2 as well. 3, we should see a good attempt from him on that one. And I think 4 is going to be really interesting to see him getting on there, because as we said, he's one of the taller climbers, and we know he's a beast. So maybe he can do something spectacular at the end and figure out how to get to the top on that one as well.
Yeah, I mean, Jan's going to be in his comfort zone when he gets back onto men's 3. More powerful, big moves, crimps. And then we've got Jenny Levada attempting the slab now. And Kilian Fischuber really struggling with this men's 1, getting quite frustrated. Obviously, a lot of the guys who completed this boulder have done the direct method. Jenny Levada on female 3 lining it up, but we've seen all the women apart from Anna Sturr struggle with that. She just seemed to float up, really enjoying being out early. So we've got only a couple of climbers left on the wall. Philip here lining up this bonus. Needs to get established on the mantle to stand any chance of holding that. It's a really poor volume. The thumb catch being the only thing to really keep you on. But frustration from Kilian on boulder 1. He'll be really disappointed when he finds out afterwards that the easier way to do it was just to go straight up. He's normally one of the competitors that finds those, I call it the line of least resistance, so he's normally one of the ones you can count on to do that. But 20 seconds left now. He's going to struggle to finish this boulder even if he does get across, but that's it for him.
So Armen Temelesen is now out. It is Dmitry Sharafutinov in 6th place with 2 tops in 7, 2 bonuses in 7. So Dmitry, no top on 3 there for him.
He's out on 3.
So Dmitry just coming out onto 3. Here we are. It's right. That's I think that might be registered wrong then. At the moment, it's still an open bar, and that shouldn't be up there on there. So yeah, Dmitry just starting now on men's problem 3. So he's looking pretty strong at the moment. It's Rustam Gelmanov in 1st place with 3 tops in 10 at the moment, 4 bonuses in 9. It's Mikhailo Shalagin in 2nd at present.
Yeah, and then we've got our last 2 competitors starting the semi-final today, Alex Puccio from United States and Sean McCall from Canada. So really good competition from those guys across the pond, showing their dominance. They've obviously been doing the tour now for quite a few seasons, Alex and Sean, so they're used to the Euro style of climbing, but it's fantastic to see those guys really dominating things in the qualifier. Alex just campusing her way through here. No need for the feet. The female Mustang. I'd like, you know, Jan Hoder and Alex Puccio just absolutely blasting through.
Udo's trained such a strong German team here. I mean, look, Thomas Tauporn, same method as Jan Hoyer to get up on that one. I wonder if they chatted at all behind the wall. But Dmitry there, very quick up on M3 as well. He's just now securing his place in the finals. Akio Noguchi working her way up problem 2 for the women's at the moment, and Melanie Sandals over on female problem 4.
Yeah, as I said earlier, Melanie's climbed really well this weekend, and she's got a top again. Great finish from the comp for her. Sean McCall, similarly to Kilian Fischuber, struggling with this first boulder.
You know what, John? I think Sean might actually have a bad time at this one. I think these blocks, looking at them now, M1 here, he's going to have to either go up the untraditional way, like we've seen, and then it's kind of to do with height a little bit as well, or just trying to inch up there. It could be quite tricky for him. Going the traditional way, it's going to be all about crimps, and that could be a pain as well. Then M2 is another advantage if you have height, which Sean doesn't have. And M4 as well is going to be another one which gives you an advantage if you are a little bit taller. So Sean could be in for a rough ride, I think, in the semis.
Yeah, well, he's got across onto his green volume, but you can see he's just hanging on using the palm of his hand. Really tricky move, and Jakob here is showing real frustration. He's really upset at the boulder here. Obviously, we've not seen a top on men's 4 yet, so you know he's bound to feel frustrated. I think he's obviously one of the more dynamic climbers that we've got left out here. We've still got Dmitry to come onto it, but hopefully we'll see a top before the end of today. It's always nice to see all of the boulders go.
So Sean has found that method now. He's moved up onto the starting hold on the left, trying to get a foot up onto the right there, just coming off a little bit there. He's still got 2 minutes though, and he's finding that method gradually over on M1. Jakob trying a different way of trying to get up to that bonus hold. It's what he does from there as well that's going to just be even more difficult for him. Petra Klingler working her way on female problem 3. And we have Akio Noguchi still trying on female problem 2, which is interesting again, as we've seen 1 and 2 earlier on today being the ones that looked the more simple out of the women's problems.
Yeah, unusual to see Akio struggling on a line of crimps. Normally she's very, very strong, but she's figured it out now. You can see her there really powering up through them. Got Petra Klingler just falling short on the slab. She had her fingers in the slot but couldn't quite hold it. Sean McCall trying not to lose his cool. Oh, there we go again. Petra just falling. Jakob showing his root endurance now. He's had several attempts on this boulder, but getting really frustrated.
He's not going to be happy at all today. Let's just have a little look at where he's sitting at the moment. We have Schubert in 9th at the moment with 2 tops in 9 attempts. So he needs this. If he doesn't get this, he's pretty much got a pretty strong chance of being out of the finals by the look of things at the moment.
Yeah, and Sean McCall got 40 seconds left. Last chance for him, realistically. He's up on the final section now, so this is where we saw Rustam really crimping his way across. As to whether he'll do the jump method or continue to crimp the next hole. We don't know yet. Looks like he's going for the jump and securing the top. So
very nice.
Little shake of the head from him. He's upset not to flash it, but still, top. He'll be one ahead of Kilian Fischuber, that's for sure, who struggled with it.
Now that's the way that I thought if we did see Sean doing it, that would be the way that he would do it, because working out by stemming over into the corner there and inching your feet up like we've seen the untraditional way, I think you need a bit of extra height to be able to either spring or reach the top hole. So he's managed to do it in a really nice way there and jumping across to secure that top. Schubert then in a really tricky situation now. It's looking like he could be out of the overall medals and also the final here at the World Cup.
Yeah, Jakob was really disappointed. You could hear him when he was out on this final boulder, really upset with the boulder, not being able to figure out the sequence and complete it. So we've got Kilian Fischuber, Shauna Coxey, Jan Hoyer, Jone Kruder, Julianne Verm here on female 3 and Jenny Levada. No more competitors out on the first problems. We've had everybody out. So we're starting to get a better picture of who's going to be in the final. Kilian just slipping off.
I'm going to give you that better picture of who might be in the final. In 6th place at the moment, Mina Markovic with 3 tops in 8, 3 bonuses in 8. Yuka Kobayashi still in. I said that it was going to be interesting to see whether she made it or not. Jan Hoyer at present is a little bit lower. I think he's in 7th because I think Thomas Tauporn's just ahead of him at the moment. But Jan looking good here. We'll wait and see.
Yeah, Jan powering his way through here, just campusing up. These kind of problems really suit him. The very powerful, but just slipping off there. Plenty of time, 3:30 on the clock, so he'll be able to figure it out. Shauna Coxey also popping off female 2. So we've seen Akio and Shauna falling off this, so presumably conditions might be deteriorating. Struggling to hold on, but she's crimping away now and looking very, very confident.
So 3 minutes left here. Kilian, a little bit of a clean for another attempt here. Looking at the women's then, it's currently it's Anna Storr at the moment in 1st place. Dinara Fakradinova and Melanie Sandos tied in 2nd with Katarina Savine. They're all in tied 2nd. Yuka Kobayashi in 5th and Mina Markovic in 6th. So at the moment, it's a bit of a strange mix-up for a boulder final here. It's a nice one, but we've still got a few athletes yet to come though, remember, they're still climbing.
Yeah, so Alex Puccio is out, and obviously Shauna Coxey there, Akio Noguchi, both falling on female 2, and as you can see in 2nd place, they've 3 flashes at the moment gets you in. So realistically, the Shauna Coxey and Akio both need to do 4 boulders potentially to get into the final.
In the men's, we have Dmitry Sharafutinov in 1st place, Rustam Galmanov in 2nd, Mikhailo Shalish in 3rd, Rei Sugimoto in 4th, like we said, the dark horse, Sachiyama in 5th, and Thomas Tauporn currently in 6th place after only trying 2 of the boulders. He's already in 6th with 2 tops in 4, 2 bonuses in 4. Just below him, Jan Hoyer at the moment with 2 tops in 7, 3 bonuses in 5. But I think Jan's still going for it. He's still on the wall at the moment, so he's got 2 minutes roughly left to try and get that 3rd one. But that's it's 2 in 4 then. Two tops in 4 attempts, 2 bonuses in 4 that will see you through in the men's. Looking at where Schubert has ended up, 2 in 9, 3 bonuses in 9. Schubert is officially out of the finals.
Yeah, unlucky for Jakob. He'll be really disappointed, obviously, not to make the finals. Putting his podium chances in jeopardy. Kilian Fischuber as well, very unlike him. Normally very, very good at slab problems and really struggling with the first 2. Got 1:20 left. We've only got Sean McCall left to come on this slab, but he's really not enjoying it. Jone Kruder equally on this men's 4, struggling to get up on the mantle. And most surprisingly for me, Jan Hoyer on this 3rd boulder. He flashed all the way up to pretty much the last move and then hasn't got back there since. Come on, Jan. This big sloper that he's campusing to. Very poor, but this is the difficult bit, leaving room for your foot. Just can't get his foot on. Showing frustration there. Jone, Kilian, the only ones left out. I mean, Killian calling it a day on the slab. Must be a conditions thing now, because we've seen quite a few of the stronger climbers popping off these footholds and handholds, which is unusual for this stage of the competition. You'd expect the people coming out later to be getting the tops in the fewer amount of attempts, but that's just testament to the other guys who've been out so far. All the semi-finalists very, very strong. And here we go, current world champion and World Cup leader Dmitry Shalafutinov coming out for his final boulder. Already in a really strong position, but we really want to see all 4 boulders go, and Dmitry will be the one to do that for us. Sean McCall, the last guy to try this slab. Killian struggling on it, so it'll be interesting to see how Sean gets on.
So still Mina Markovic in 6th place, 3 tops in 8, 3 bonuses in 8 for the female athletes.
Thomas Tauporn showing great strength through this semi-final so far, absolutely cruising the first 2, and he's straight up on the 3rd. So this top here flashed for Thomas, that puts him straight in the final, I believe. Excellent effort from him, and Dmitry getting stuck into this 4th problem.
The interesting thing is that Jan was already in the final. That's just improved his position. Thomas. That's just improved his position in the final 6. So looking very strong, very impressive today. Can Jan Hoye pull out some magic on men's problem 4? Can we see him in the final? Double German athletes moving through then.
Yeah, and Petra Klinger here from Switzerland, cruising through this first section, and absolutely fantastic effort from her. That's a flash, really good. She's happy with herself. Akio obviously on the 3rd slab. We've only seen Anna Stur top this boulder so far, and Akio, having fallen on the 2nd boulder, really needs a top now to stand a chance of getting in the final.
Well, Akio had multiple attempts on the 2nd. She did, in fact, finally make it to the top, Akio, on problem 2. But those multiple attempts are really going to be against her at getting in at the moment, as the 6th place is now with Yuka Kobayashi. Mina Markovic is out. It's Yuka Kobayashi with 3 tops in 4, 3 bonuses in 3. So Akio's going to need to probably top all 4 of them to try and make it through into the final, because she's used so many attempts. Yeah, what do you think about Dmitry on this one, Johnny? Because, I mean, he's one of those weird ones that'll probably find some peculiar way of doing it. I don't know, using like a foot to get there up above his head or something.
Yeah, and I mean, he showed great tenacity there, using his knee just to get the right position, but he's going to take his time now to figure out what to do on the last move. He won't want to waste this attempt. But just slipping off, you can see there, smiling.
At least he's having a good time. At least he's laughing about it. If you were on this one on M4, you're up, okay, you're now on the bonus hold. You've got your left hand on there. You've got your left foot on that corner, the point of the pyramid of the orange one. How are you going to try and get to that top jug?
I think the key is, we saw Rustam earlier trying to crimp his way through it and do it statically, but the feet and the handholds not allowing him to do that. The way I read it was a bit more of a dynamic method, so maybe using the right leg as a leg swing to provide some inward momentum and sideways momentum. I'm not too sure if the guys, obviously Rustam, one of the strongest in the comp, not able to lock it down. So I think maybe a dynamic jump method is going to be the way. The top hold is absolutely massive, so it lends itself to that kind of approach.
Well, how good do you think that foothold is once you're on top of it on the pyramid here? Do you think there's a chance that they could like swing back around to the left-hand side and then just do a big swing round and up to the top?
I'm not too sure. I think, as Dimitri's doing, the way you have to hold the right hand with that guppy hold, he's got to really keep his weight to the right-hand side and then pop up to the jug.
Is that a guppy there with the right?
Exactly. Yeah. So
I've got it, John.
Using the
I've got it.
I think he's got it. Okay. And Sean McCall here, similarly to Killian, really struggling with the slab. So
this is what I said at the beginning. I think Sean is going to have a tough time on this one. I mean, this is all about Well, not only balance, but we've seen the taller guys having a pretty easy time of the first few problems on the men's here, and I think Sean's going to have a rough ride today. It just doesn't seem like his style.
Yeah, we've seen some of the other guys crimping the back of that big grey ball, getting a little bit of an edge as opposed to the sloper. Dimitri's out of there. He's enjoying himself though. He obviously knows he's going to be in the final, so he's just having some fun. But 15 seconds left. He's out. Sean's had enough, so they'll go back into isolation. Sean will hope for a better ride in the second half of this semi-final. So Shauna Coxey out on block 3, Akio Noguchi not topping, so at the moment she sits outside of the final position, and I think she's probably not going to be able to get in because she's 2 tops in 4 and the others are 3 and 3, so I don't think Akio Noguchi can qualify now. Shauna Coxey now needs to get a top. She, similarly to Akio, is 2 and 3, so really needs another top to secure her place. Julian Verm pulling on for her final boulder. Jan Holger on his one. And Kilian Fischuber really needs his to register a top. Not going to be able to qualify, I don't think, based on his current performance. But I'm sure he'll be keen to get a top now. Shauna absolutely cruising this all the way to the top. Get the match in, Shauna, come on. Excellent from her, real tenacity. She knew she needed it, bit of a tweak on the back, but that's 3 in 4 attempts for Shauna. So she's still just sitting in qualification now. She'll be in 6th position with that, I believe, but she'll probably need another top to secure it. And of course, moving into the finals, she'll want to have more attempts. And Jan Hoja now, just mauling his way through the volume. Yeah, so as I was saying, sorry, Shauna Coxey topping out 3 and 4. She'll need a 4th boulder to really cement her place in the final. At the moment, she'll be quite precarious, I think, actually in 7th place due to the number of attempts to bonus.
The really interesting thing here is between Shauna and Puccio. Now, at the moment, Shauna Coxey has 3 tops in 4 attempts, 3 bonuses in 4, and Alex Puccio has 2 flashes. So if Alex comes out and flashes this next one, she's keeping the pressure on Shauna, because if they both make it through into finals, if they tie in the finals, it will then go to countback, and if she's got 1 extra attempt ahead of Shauna, these results could matter. So this could come right down to the line, even to the semi-finals. And at the moment, at the present moment in time, Alex Puccio outperformed Shauna yesterday, and she's doing the exact same thing here again today. So the pressure is still very much on between the two of them. Whoever wins secures the bronze medal on the overall charter. At the moment, it's Shauna ahead by 3 points, but the overall World Cup rankings, whoever beats the other at this this event, whether making the finals or not, I think, then they will secure the bronze medal.
Yeah, and I think, obviously, looking at the boulder that Alex is about to come out to, female 3, we've only seen Anna Störer and Shauna Coxey top now. Traditionally, obviously, Alex Puccio has not favoured the slab as a discipline. She's a very, very strong climber and tends to prefer the steeper territory, like she's going to find on female 4. So to keep up the pressure, she really needs to get a top on here. I know she's been climbing fantastically well this weekend, but she's really going to need another top.
Hey, I tell you what else is really interesting. I said earlier when I was working it out with Graham that Noguchi has secured the silver medal if she makes finals. But it's looking like she could now not, looking like she is out of the finals now. So the silver medal might also be up for grabs for Shauna and for Alex.
All change, yeah. I mean, we've had some real unusual results in the semi-final. Kilian here finally getting a top. He's happy with that, but he's going to really need to pull something out of the bag. I don't think statistically he can make the final now. That's his first boulder today, and he's had at least a couple of goes on it. Jan now also struggling to find the sequence. Everybody else who's done this boulder is mantled up onto the corner of the orange on that small black handhold, whereas Jan's choosing to go a bit more dynamically.
he needs this if he wants to be in the finals. He has to have another top here to try and make it through. Down to bonuses. Sachiyama has 3 bonuses in 6. Jan has 3 in 5, but he's got 4 more attempts compared to Sachi on the tops here. Sachi's currently in 6th place, and he's 2 in 3 against Jan Hoyer's 2 in 7. So Jan needs a top here if he's going to get through to the finals. Without it, he's out.
Yeah, and as we just said, looking through the list there, Rei Sugimoto currently sitting in 5th place.
Told you.
Dark horse, yeah, just goes about his business, and obviously coming out earlier on, kind of forget about some of the athletes who's been out earlier. Mikhailo Shaligin putting in a great turn, topping 3 boulders, and he's still in the final. So Jan, very disappointed, had an excellent start to the competition today. But the one to watch now, female 3, Alex Puccio. Currently 2 flashes to her name, but we've only seen 2 tops on this boulder. And to keep the pressure on, she needs to top it. Otherwise, she's going to be relying on the final boulder to get her place in the final today. Aki Noguchi, though, climbing her final boulder. Unfortunately, she won't know that she's not made it through, but she'll be devastated.
Yeah, I mean, Shauna Coxey has 3 tops in 4 attempts, and she's already in 7th. She's currently in 7th, so she's not even into the final yet. So Noguchi's currently in 15th place. She's way, way down there. Yula Verm is in 12th at the moment as well, so she's not going to be making the finals either. Mina Markovic is out. Really interesting mix-up for the women's finals here. Tauporn's already in. This is Alex here then. Can she make this? She's one of the shorter athletes, so that's going to be a tough move to that bonus for her.
Yeah, just fumbling the slot there. As we said before, got to be really precise with the fingers to get in there. Thomas Tauporn sitting pretty at the top of the leaderboard. Obviously doesn't know that just yet. Sean McCall showing real shoulder strength there. Fantastic, just campusing through. Incredible. Needs to secure this next pinch. One of the shorter competitors, so it's going to be really hard for him. But obviously with his power, he's straight up and needs to leave room for the heel now. Going for the toe, great effort from him, and very easily to the top.
I don't think it's actually enough. I mean, that was very nice by Sean there. He had that, one-handed move over, traverse to the left, looking really, really strong, but I don't think it's enough. I mean, Kirill Fishuba's in 13th at the moment, and it's looking like 6th place is 2 tops in 3. So it could actually be, if he does well on the 4th one, it's all coming down to the 4th block in the men's, and we've had no luck whatsoever really on the 4th block so far. So Kilian Fishuba's now in 14th, with 1 top in 2 attempts, 1 bonus in 1. McCall is in 8th with 2 tops in 7, 2 bonuses in 6th.
Yeah, and Thomas Tauporn getting on board the volume now, but just not finding the right position with his hands. Alex Puccio came very close on her last go to this slab. She needs to top to keep the pressure on the others. She's already got 2 flashes to her name, but she'll know she won't want to go down to the last problem.
This is where Shauna Coxey is going to start to take an advantage due to the incredible performance on female problem 3, which she came out a moment ago. So it has changed now. Although Alex outperformed Shauna yesterday, and it looked like Alex was putting on a better show here, things have changed. Shauna now moves to take the lead, but Shauna still has some work to do, I think, to secure a place in the finals at the moment. I'm just going to have a look at the list at the moment.
And Alex is up. Gets a lot of stick on the circuit for not being able to climb slabs, but really laying down now. And she's in the mix. Obviously frustrated not to do it earlier, but she's only the 3rd female today to top that boulder, so it's a great effort. And, I think with that, she's pretty much looking at the final boulder, which we know will probably suit her. She's probably in the final.
So at present, Sachiyama still holding it for the men's with 2 tops in 3, 3 bonuses in 6 is the 6th place position. Thomas Tauporn is qualifying in 1st place at the moment, ahead of Dmitry Sharafutinov with 3 tops in 5, 4 bonuses in 10. Dmitry has 3 tops in 8, 4 bonuses in 10. Rustam Galmanov's through, Mikhailo Shalazhin, Rei Sugimoto and Sachiyama. Really bizarre mix-up here. We're seeing some of the
like the classic athletes not managing to get there, and with a minute left to go, we're with Thomas Tauporn fighting his way here, trying desperately to get in to the final. So in 6th place in the women's, it's Yuka Kobayashi at the moment with 3 tops in 4, 3 bonuses in 3. Shauna still got some work to do. She's in 7th place at the moment. She's got to get at least a bonus on this next one to go through, and I think that should be relatively easy for her, we hope, on female problem 4. Puccio currently in 9th place with 3 tops in 5, so she's going to need to try and top the last problem as well to see herself through. Thomas Tauporn down again, men's problem 4 then. It's been the one today, hasn't it?
Yeah, we saw for pretty much the men and the women, the earlier boulders getting done quite quickly, and it all coming down to the final one. So we're going to have Shauna Coxey and Killian Fischuber back out now, coming towards the end of the semi-final. So all eyes on those two. Just Sean McCall and Alex Puccio to come out afterwards. Killian Fischuber obviously struggling in the first half of this set, but securing a top on the last boulder.
You know what? I think Killian might do this. I'm going to put it out there and make a risky call, because we saw him in Miol with Mano Hassler's blocks there, and he had that really bizarre, you know, for the one you had to kind of knee bar it and shuffle along, and Killian managed it really well, and he's also got the height. He's got a little bit more height than some of the other athletes here. So I think if anyone's going to do it at this late stage in the game, I think it will be him, because I don't think Sean's going to manage it at the end. Although Sean does like the dynamic style, actually. He might go for the dyno a little bit more than some of the other athletes. So maybe we'll see a surprise from Sean.
Yeah, Sean also obviously one of the shorter guys, so if he can get up onto this orange volume, he can get himself up and establish on the bonus maybe easier than some of the taller guys. Shauna Coxey sets off now. She gets a flash on this boulder. She'll be sitting in 2nd place behind Anna Sturr and guaranteeing her place in the final.
Well, she has to get that bonus. If she gets the bonus, she's through into the finals, and at the moment, let's have a little look at this. She's starting to approach it. As soon as she gets that pink bit of tape, the hole just above that one, she'll be through to the finals if she gets there. Killian is on the ground going, what is this? What am I supposed to do with this?
Absolutely, and Shauna Coxey here, just showing her caliber there. Fantastic climbing from her.
There it is, Shauna Coxey in the finals. That left hand there has just secured it for her, though she probably doesn't know that just yet. She's now going to move up a little bit more here. I think this is still her first attempt, is it not, John?
Yeah, absolutely. Flash go for Shauna. Great effort from her, and she's in the final in 2nd place. She'll be thrilled.
And there it is. So if we go to count back in the finals and Alex Puccio does come through, then Shauna will win out on that one. Killian struggling to get even up to the bonus here on men's problem 4.
Yeah, Killian choosing to go the left method here. We've seen pretty much every different way through this orange volume. People crimping the right-hand side, people crimping the left-hand side, but most success has come from mantling up on the corner on that hold with 2 hands. And then those that have succeeded to stand up have left enough room for the foot. But we've still not seen a top on it yet. Only Killian and Sean remain to climb on it.
He's got plenty of time here, though. He's got 2 minutes 20 left on the clock, and it's going to be this upper section. The interesting thing is we saw Jakob doing the exact same thing here, and Jakob struggling to get up above this one. Don't know what it is. Their style is relatively different between Killian and Jakob, but the Austrians seem to have just not been able to get that one, and the Germans seem to have been able to get up to the bonus, but then just can't figure out how to go across. The same for some of the Russian athletes earlier today as well. Killian wants a brush here now, but he's just, you think he's just not reading the beta right at the start of this one here, John?
Yeah, as we said, it seems to coming out later, there's a lot more chalk on the climb, so there's a lot more options that have been explored by all the other athletes, and so it can make it quite difficult to pick your way through them. Killian here going for a slightly different method, really got to get his weight over onto his hips on top of the foothold, but the handhold he's holding onto there is not actually a handhold, it's the back of the volume.
It's not even a handhold.
So he's shaking his head at it, he doesn't really know what to do. The double mantle method on the corner, he's not quite seen to jump onto the palm of his hand, but unfortunate for Killian, he's had a bit of a rough ride in this semi-final, climbed so well yesterday, so he'll be disappointed not to have read the sequence.
1 minute left. So there's only Sean yet to come on this one.
Sean needs a top also to get in the final. Killian had enough. Still almost a minute left, so he's obviously very frustrated with that. He knows that's put him out of the final, and also, similarly to Jakob, affected his overall World Cup position potentially.
What an unusual semi-finals, just in general. I mean, looking at the list up behind us, the athletes that haven't made it so far: Akio Noguchi, Alex Puccio hasn't just yet, Mina Markovic is out, Monica Recchi's out, Aya Inoue, Eula Verm, Melissa Leneve, Yana Sherishneva, Anna Galiamova, Jenny Levada, all of these athletes out of the finals. They're not making it through. It's just really, really bizarre. I mean, we'll have a look at our top 6 in a moment, who are going to be making it through. Yuka Kobayashi now out of the finals in 7th place. So Yuka Kobayashi's out now as well. And this is Alex Puccio for her place in the finals, really. She's in 9th at the moment. She has to get, I think, a top here on this one to get in, because, yeah, it's 3 tops in 3. And at the moment, Puccio's got 3 tops in 5. So she needs a top to get into the top equal 3rd place positions. If she does, we could potentially see 7 female athletes in the finals, as we've got quite a few tied 3rd place positions.
Yep. Alex definitely needing a top now to get into the final. If she'd have come out and looked at all of these boulders before, I know she would have felt more comfortable on this one. So she'll feel good knowing that she's finishing on a nice overhang. It's more her style. Nice crimpy holds. Powerful, but Sean McCall on men's 4 needs a top. Very, very difficult boulder. We've not seen it topped yet today. Let's see what method he goes for. He's seen the mantle, but he's also seen the chalk out left. Alex Puccio just dominating this final boulder.
That was one arm. The other arm was just holding the hand onto the position that he wanted to be in there. He's got to try and get the foot up, and that's the problem.
Yeah, but Alex Puccio here, absolute cruise control. Finals in probably 3rd place from memory.
So very, very nice from Puccio there. There she is, making her way through to the final. So the pressure is still on Shauna Coxey. If it goes to count back, Shauna's going to take it, but Alex could still outperform on the actual blocks that we've still got to come for you. This has been really exciting. Even the qualifications yesterday was really tense right down to the end of the line, and this is looking like a really bizarre final for both men and women of the athletes that we have coming through that have secured their places. We've got a lot of athletes completely out. To get into the final, Sean has to top this as well. He's currently in 8th. He has 2 tops in 7 and 2 bonuses in 6 at the moment. And in 6th place, Sachiyama, 2 in 3. 3 bonuses in 6 is the 6th place position. So to get into the final, he's going to need a top here. It would be great to go out on a bang. We've not seen anyone do it on men's 4 yet.
No, we've not seen a top yet today on this 4th boulder for the men. Sean's still not figured out the right method for him. Really needs to get up on the palm, on the corner of this volume, the orange volume. Leave enough room for the foot to allow him to really press up on the bonus hole. But at the moment, just looking in a bit of shock, really. He's not too sure what method to take. Obviously being the last competitor out now.
See, at this stage of the time limit, he needs to be playing with the top half of this block, not the bottom half anymore. He needs to have figured out how to get up on top and get to the bonus by now, to then figure out how he's going to get up to the top. As we saw on M1, he's not afraid of dynamic moves. He can really go for it, which is unusual in a lead climber, I think, a predominantly lead climber, to be that dynamic.
Yeah, Sean obviously seasoned in both disciplines, so uses both to his advantage, but here we go. He's up. Has he left enough room for the foot? There we go. That's the key move, really. He secured the bonus, though, so that'll push him a little higher up the list, but he really needs this top to finish, and we've not seen a top today. Sean, always a really strong competitor. He'll want to be in the final, not only for the overall world ranking, but just because he wants to win every single competition. Fantastic athlete.
And his first gold earlier this year in bouldering over in Log Dragon there.
Yep, Sean's had pretty much a dream season. He wanted to get his first World Cup win and secured that. really come on in the last couple of years. A lot more. Here we go, up on the volume. He's figured out the mantle, but not quite how to leave room for the foot. He seems a bit stranded.
Is there nothing you can do using the green there as well? Like, for example, using a right hand, getting your left foot up onto that, and then just trying to pop up and push up and through for the bonus?
We've seen a lot of other guys try and use that starting handhold on the green volume, but because it's so much further back from the orange volume, it's almost like having to toe hook or heel hook really far behind, and then the top green volume is further away. So Sean having a quick look at the clock there, crimping hard on those bolt holes, but he's had enough now, calling it a day, and he's really disappointed there. But really unusual set of boulders, and only one boulder we've not seen top today. Men's 4, pretty good job by the route setters, but a really unusual spread of finalists.
Well, that's it, guys. I mean, what an unusual qualifications we had yesterday, and extremely unusual semi-finals for us now. We have 4 tied 4th place positions, which means we're going to be seeing 7 through to the final later on in the women's. We have Anna Stor in 1st place, we have Shauna Coxey in 2nd, Alex Puccio in 3rd, and then Dinara Fakhretdinova, Petra Klingler, Melanie Sandoz and Katarina Savine all in tied 4th, which gives us 7 female athletes through to the final later on. Unbelievable there to see that. And there you are, John, you've seen one of the French athletes getting through as well in the women, so you won out on that one.
Yeah, well, we saw Melanie yesterday and she was looking very, very strong, so came out, took a opportunity on the 3 boulders that she flashed and showing real form there. We obviously seen Anna Stur, Shauna Coxey, Alex Puccio, 1, 2 we expected to be in, but we're missing Akio Noguchi, Julianne Verme, Melissa Leneve, some real big names not making it through to the final, and they'll be very disappointed.
Oh, that list is huge. It goes on and on with the women that haven't made it. In the men's, Thomas Tarporn in 1st place, Dmitry Sharafutinov 2nd, Rustam Gelmanov 3rd, Mikhailo Shalazhin making it through, one of the first out. He's still in 4th, Rei Sugimoto, the dark horse, in 5th, and Sachi Amma in 6th. So the people that are out of our finals: Jan Hoyer, Sean McCall, Jakob Schubert, Cedric Lechat, Yone Kruder, Kilian Fischuber. I mean, it's just absolutely bizarre, the athletes that haven't made it through. Really nice mix-up in the final, but it's bizarre to see this draw.
Yeah, you know, we've had a really strong Russian representative here this weekend, so we've got Russian finalists in both the men and the women's. I think it's the first time we've not had a Japanese finalist in the women's competition for a while. That's quite unusual.
Here being out, yeah, you can see.
And Aya not making it through either. Of course, Momoka Oda not here this weekend.
You can see here David Barron's down in 18th place, Jonas Baumann in 17th, Killian down in 14th as well. That is very unusual to see. Christopher Parsons putting in a good performance there, despite not quite making the finals. And Filip Rataziak looked so strong yesterday as well, and he's all the way down in 20th today with no tops and no bonuses, so he's obviously had a really tough time of things.
Yeah, tough set, and of course I believe this is his first semi-final, so he'll be thrilled just to be participating in the event, but equally finishing in last place there. He finished the qualifiers quite high up the list, so it's never nice to go backwards, but great effort from him making the semi-final. And here we've got the women's finalists. So we've got Anna Stur in 1st, Shauna Coxey, Alex Puccio, Katarina Salvine, Dinara, Melanie Sando and Petra Klinger.
Which is quite a nice setup, but then looking at the second page here, you can see the athletes we're used to seeing up there, like Markovic, we're used to seeing Gyula Verme, we're used to seeing Melissa Leneve going through. Anna Galiamova usually as well is another one that usually comes through for us. Monica Recchi is always a contender also. And I believe on the next page after this, there's still probably a few names on there as well that we've, the last 2, maybe, was it? Andreeva's another very strong competitor. So all of these athletes not making it through, it's going to be a nightmare to count back with those 4 tied 4ths in the final.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the route setters put an interesting tour up for the girls. I said at the start that I thought the first two were probably too basic for the calibre of girls that we've got out there. We did see some falls from some of the stronger girls, Akio in particular, and Shauna Coxey luckily pulled it back in the second half of the competition, but I think they're going to have to really not go back to the drawing board because we don't know what they've got set yet, but certainly take it into consideration. They're going to want to set things that make people fall, and at the moment maybe too basic for the girls in the semi-final. With the men we had a slightly better spread. Thomas Tauporn leading the way, obviously home country. It's great to see the Germans putting in a great display today, and he'll be looking forward to the final, going in a great position should it come to countback.
Well, ladies and gents, that is your semi-finals all arranged and sorted for you. We now know who our finalists are going to be. You can keep checking up on that on the IFSC's website, which is www.climbing. I'm confusing the
IFSC-climbing.
IFSC-climbing.org. I'll get there in the end. Right, so that is your semi-finals done. We are going to be back with you at 6:25 p.m. local time for us here, so Central European time over here in Munich. So 6:25 for us. We'll be bringing you the start of the finals. We've got the obviously the athletes coming out to observe their observation, their presentation with the crowds. All that remains for me to do is to say a massive thank you for Jonathan Partridge for being with us all the way through the semi-finals. And Johnny, you're going to come back with the finals for us? I haven't scared you off?
No, I'll be here. My dulcet tones can soothe the listeners, hopefully. Yeah, but we'll be here. It's going to be an excellent final. Really good spread of people, and the walls so far, the problems we've seen, it's going to be great.
Great. Thank you, John. A lot to look forward to. We'll see you guys at 6:25.